Reds Power of Tradition bobblehead series. Second of the series of 3 features Mr. 30-30 and 1995 National League MVP Barry Larkin. That'll be Wednesday, June the 28th. Barry's Pepsi bobblehead features him going up the middle to rob yet another batter of a base hit. Wednesday, June 28th, be one of the first 40,000 fans in attendance to take home a Pepsi bobblehead of Barry Larkin. For more info or for tickets, log on to Reds.com. Here's Yadi Molina. The average at 194, bounces it down to third. A little high, but Aurelia has it, and there's one away. Encarnacion takes care of the first out, and we got time to tell you that tomorrow night, got to look around the major leagues with FSN Baseball Report, covering every team all season long with highlights, interviews, and analysis that you won't get anywhere else. FSN Baseball Report tomorrow at 6 right here on FSN Ohio. Here's Schumacher up for the first time today. That one's a little wide. Tony La Russa acknowledging before the game today that this is a little bit of a different Cardinal team than it was a year ago, or for that matter the year before that. But he said, you know, it kind of reinvigorates you when you have a changeover of people, and you got to find a way to keep winning. And in St. Louis, that's what they expect. They expect you to keep winning.
I think any club owner that puts out an $88 million payroll is going to demand the same of his manager and his coaching staff to put a winner on the field. I mean, that's a lot of money into your payroll. And
brand new ballpark here, and as you get a chance to come to St. Louis, and a lot of Reds fans do make the trip here to St. Louis. Here's the 3-2 with one out. Nub down to first. It's a foul ball. I mean, this park is right next to where the old park was. It's will seat 43,000 probably by June. Right now it seats about 41,000. You see the arch of St. Louis. Couldn't see that in the old ballpark from the field because it was enclosed. Downtown, right there out in left center field, that area right there is Baseball City, where they've got a project where they'll have different shops and restaurants, and you're going to get to see the downtown area now, but probably in a couple of years there'll be some high rises right there too. But it's centrally located just south of where the old ballpark was. They haven't finished the seats in left field yet. They'll be done by May. Still a whole section of about 2,000 seats that aren't completed. That's a very pleasant park, and Chris, all these ballparks are pretty nice.
You know, good baseball fans here in St. Louis.
Walk to Schumacher, and here's Mulder, the pitcher. Yep, he's got a homer 2 this year, a .600 average, a homer, and 2 knocked in.
I think a lot of people say, well, you know, we didn't think that the other park was very bad. They kept it very clean. It was upkept very well. Looked nice. Most fans say, hey, we like this just as much as anything. But then when you do have a new ballpark to go move into, you say, you know, yeah, we do like the new one. Like concourse is bigger. Yep. Just the, you know, some of the fan amenities are nice.
1 ball to Mulder with 1 out. Not showing any inclination to bunt here. 2-0.
A lot of the concessions even improved a little bit here, although the sodas are the same. They say the same water in all the sodas in both ballparks.
That won't change. They have the new concessions here very much like the Great American Ballpark. A lot of the concourses are wider. They've got some picnic areas around the park here, and just like Great American Ballpark when it opened, it'll be a year before you cut out all the wrinkles and try to get everybody comfortable. 2-0. That slap foul.
Well, we've seen this afternoon the first 2 bases on balls this year issued by Bronson Arroyo. He has shown pretty much impeccable control through his first couple of starts. He has struck out 11, walked none coming into this ball game. The first walk that he issued this year came around to score. That was Albert Pujols in the first inning.
Two and one. Runner not going, showing bunt, and there's a foul ball. 2-2.
Both these pitchers who have home runs to their credit already this year having a problem doing the little things like getting the bunt down.
Schumacher had a pretty big lead last time. See what O'Reilly and Arroyo cooked up down at first. Will they throw over at least once?
Richie really went over there and said something to Bronson Arroyo before that delivery. I don't know whether it was say come over one time to send Schumacher back or step off, just let him know that you're over there. Would not be out of the question here to see kind of a run and bunt.
2-2.
Just the way the Schumacher going back there, you just wonder if he's trying to poise himself to steal a base. Usually when a guy goes back standing up, he has no intentions of going. If he's diving back, he stretches his lead to just about the utmost.
And that lead is about a full step shorter than what it was before really went over to talk to Bronson Arroyo. So they've accomplished one thing. They're buying a step off the bag that they didn't have before. 2-2. Charging Encarnacion, runner not going, and that's wide. We'll go full 3-2. Second inning of work. Arroyo already at 40 pitches. These 2 innings have been deliberate for both of these starters. Mulder takes a look at Oquendo. 3-2. Schumacher down at first. Eckstein on deck. Will the runner be going? He's going. Swing and a miss. A double pump, and they don't get him. I don't know whether the ball just slipped out of Ross's hand or the bat was in his way, but he double pumped. It would have had him easily had he been able to uncork the throw. Here's another look.
He blames himself right there, because even with the double pump, it came very close. He goes back and you see the ball just come loose a little bit in his hand. Just could not get the handle on it and still made it close. Good strong throw once he got the hand on the ball, but Schumacher had a pretty good jump and gets in there ahead of the tag.
So a stolen base, 2 away. Now the top of the order, Eckstein, who singled his first time up. A little wide, 2-0. Eckstein does all the little things. Defensively, his arm's a little short. He's not the speediest or the biggest guy, but he's a baseball guy, and he makes all the plays you need to make. Say the same thing at the plate, too. Gets a bat on the ball, toughest to strike out. Third most difficult to strike out in Major League Baseball last year. Always in the top 5, whether it was when he was in Anaheim with the Angels or here with the Cardinals.
Well, Eckstein's the kind of player that, I mean, you've seen him a million times. There's one Eckstein on every team that you've played growing up. He's a guy that, you know, he's pesky. He carries himself with a little bit of arrogance and flair, and he's a guy you want to hate if he's on the other team. You love to have him on your own ball club because he adds that kind of sizzle to the lineup and just to the ball club in general. But you know, you see him all over the place. Few of them ever make it to the major leagues because they don't have the talent. But Eckstein's one of those guys that he didn't care whether he had talent or not. He just was going to barrel his way here on enthusiasm and hustle.
Guy who acknowledges the way Pete Rose played the game of baseball. His dad impressed upon him that. And this weekend we celebrate Pete's 65th birthday. And Eckstein celebrates the way he played the game every day he goes out on the field. So 2 on, 2 out, and here comes Miles, who bounced back to the pitcher already today. 3 walks by Bronson Arroyo, uncharacteristic for him.
Yeah, you know, and you got to figure if you're Aaron Miles right now with Albert Pujols on deck and a couple of runners on base, you are getting strikes in this at bat. And if you're up there sitting on a certain pitch, he took a breaking ball for the first pitch, you can sit there and be patient because you're going to get a strike to hit.
Kicks away. They've got a play at second. Nothing going on. Both runners will advance. In the dirt, it kicks away. A wild pitch be charged to Bronson Arroyo. Now second and third, and it's a 1-ball 1-strike count.
It just looks like one of these days right now that Bronson Arroyo doesn't have his good stuff, and he's going to have to go out there and battle, be stubborn with his stuff, be very more deliberate perhaps in setting hitters up, knowing that his release points aren't there on all of his pitches.
Missing low, 2 balls and a strike. Miles picked up in a trade with the Colorado Rockies. Cardinals have had a revolving door at second base last couple of years. Tony Womack, now the Reds second baseman, one of the Reds second baseman, was here 2 years ago. There's a number down to first. Arroyo over to cover. They get the out. The runner's stranded. Cardinals have stranded 3. So have the Reds, but the Cardinals have a 2-1 lead as we go to the third.
We think winning deserves a little celebration, because what's good for us is great for you. The Great For You celebration, going on now at your Honda dealer.
Bye.
Bye. See you tonight.
Love you.
Love you too. Okay, that's my foot.
I'd say from Agent LaDonna Young Hansen, this is a true story.
We didn't know what kind of claim it was, because was it going to be an auto claim or a homeowner's claim?
Having one agent for all your insurance needs has its advantages.
And she handled all the paperwork.
In minutes.
She made the process totally painless.
Well, not totally. I mean, my foot.
Okay.
Nobody takes care of you like State Farm. Trust us with all your insurance needs, and we'll save you some money, too. Call an agent today.
Like a good neighbor.
State Farm is there.
Whoever said the American dream had to be stressful? At First Horizon Home Loans, we're committed to reducing the stress associated with the home mortgage process. With a wide array of loans designed to suit the needs of any home buyer, First Horizon can help make your dream come true. First Horizon Home Loans. Get home with less stress.
You're watching Reds Baseball on FSN Ohio. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Cincinnati Reds and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cincinnati Reds.
Redbirds 2 in the first have given Mark Mulder a 2-1 lead. Here we go to the third. Felipe Lopez will lead it off. Lopez struck out first time up. Reds had a threat, double by Friel and a single by Aurelia in the first. They ended up getting a run on a base hit by Kearns, but stranded a pair. Reds, of course, opened their new ballpark 3 years ago, Great American Ballpark, and you got to figure Chris back home. Doug Gallant, the Reds major domo of field operations, the guy who takes care of the Reds field, is kind of sitting at home scoping out this park, and he can sit back and relax because there's nothing quite like opening a park and trying to get the dirt right, trying to get the grass right, and that's what the Cardinals are trying to do here. They said it's been a crazy month trying to get this place ready, but they've done a pretty good job with it. Bounce out. Lopez retired, one away, and here comes Aurelia. Hey, the best sports show period, the greatest nightly sports show on TV, with host Chris Rose and co-host John Sally, Rob Dibble, and Rodney Peake. Best sports show period, weeknights only on FSN, right here. One away, and here's Aurelia, who singled to left, first time up. That at bat was his 30th against Mulder, so he's seen him both in terms of City Series interleague battles when he was at San Francisco, Mulder was in Oakland, and in the National League as well. For his career, Aurelia 6 for 29, coming in a .207 average against Mark Mulder. Rip, that's pass rolling down into the corner. He rolls around first. Coming into second is Richeria, and he'll have a 2-base hit.
Well, what an advantage it is for the Reds to be able to have a versatile player like Richeria out there who, when you put him at first base against a left-handed hitter, really improves your lineup. I mean, it's one thing having a player like Sean Casey every day at first, but I think you're even better against lefties when you bring Aurelia in there. He's got plenty of power, and what you do oftentimes by playing lefty versus lefty, you take the home run threat away. Really has a chance to hit a home run, and he's hit the ball very sharply and 2 times up against Mark Mulder.
So he's in scoring position with 1 out, and here's Dunn, who struck out on a 3-2 pitch. Dunn, Kearns, and Encarnacion all went 3-2 in the first inning. Kearns wound up getting a base hit, but Dunn struck out. Encarnacion popped out. Reds trying to do some business, knot this one up. They trail it 2-1. Kind of a modified ship employed by the Cardinals. Griffey not in the lineup again today. If you're just joining us, junior still nursing that gimpy right knee, is available to pinch hit today.
What would be that modified shift? The outfielders on the warning track?
Yeah.
They're playing deep out there.
And the second baseman is on the grass, and the shortstop is behind second, but not completely behind second the way they are sometimes with Griffey or with Dunn.
Now, what the Cardinals have done in this series against Adam Dunn, instead of trying to go faster when they want it out, they've seemed to go slower. Sidney Ponson dropped a couple of off-speed pitches, change-ups, and forkballs on him yesterday, and Mulder struck him out on a 3-2 curve the first time.
That's slap foul. Two balls, 1 strike to Adam Dunn. Now you're seeing the cream of the crop of a few years ago from the minor league pickings of the Reds and the Cardinals. 2 balls, 1 strike. That's
really
foul.
what you're looking at. You're exactly right, George. Not only the minor league pickings, but maybe the 1998 draft, maybe one of the more prolific drafts in Major League Baseball over the last decade or so. In 1998, 18 of the 30 players drafted in the first round have made it to the major leagues, and 4 of them are on the field here today. Mark Mulder from the 98 draft. Adam Dunn was a sandwich pick. I'll still call him a first-round pick. Austin Kearns, Felipe Lopez, others who were picked in the first round. You know, and those are just the guys on the field today here in St. Louis. You know, add to that Pat Burrell. He was a first-round pick. In fact, he may have been the first player taken out of the University of Miami.
Miami was.
Brad Lidge, J.D. Drew, and C.C. Sabathia. You can make yourself a pretty good major league team just out of that one draft.
3-2 to Dunn. Nubbed at the plate. That's a fair ball, and he's out.
What's he saying? I think Adam Dunn is saying it hit the plate.
It's still a fair ball. It didn't hit him.
Territory.
And Joe Brinkman explained it very clearly. The ball did hit, squirted, and rolled out in front of the plate. The second hop after it hit the plate, that's a fair ball, and Molina makes the play that he needed to make, and Dunn's retired.
Yeah, it's only a foul ball as if it hits your foot. Can't hit somebody in foul territory and then go into fair territory and be a foul ball. So Joe Brinkman gives Adam Dunn a quickie lesson on the baseball rules. We're going to give you a little lesson on baseball rules here coming up in an inning or two regarding Mark Mulder. I think he's making an infraction every pitch.
It's been talked about for years. We've talked about it before, and you know, Chris, you worked around the rubber your whole career, and when you did, one of the keys and one of the important factors of any pitcher is to maximize your ability to create an angle at the plate, whether you use the first base side of the rubber, the third base side of the rubber, and how you maintain contact with the rubber. A good pitcher will learn how to use that as a friend, not as an enemy.
You're right, and you want to find a comfort level. And if sometimes it means stretching the rule book slightly, you're willing to do that.
Mulder's one throughout his career that's worked both the first base and third base side. Here's the 1-1 to Kearns, who singled in the Reds' run back in the first. By the way, you talk about that '98 year when Kearns and Dunn were Billings, and Albert Pujols, who was also in the same league. They developed a relationship that really has continued from '98 through to today. Great deal of respect that those three players have for each other, and they're three of the fine offensive players in the game in the National League today. Here's the 2-1. That's wide.
I'll tell you what, I said at the onset that Mark Mulder is no longer the flamethrower that he used to be. I mean, that may be his best fastball of the day right there, measuring on the radar gun at 84 miles an hour. I mean, he has really turned himself into a cunny thumber.
That's down to third. Rolen has it. Over to Pujols, and he finally does find the bag. So the Reds, opportunity goes by the board. Still 2-1 St. Louis.
At McCluskey Chevrolet, the one number means one price. Always the best price, always the best service. The McCluskey Total Value Promise. If you can find a lower price on any new Chevy, we'll beat it or it's free. I'm Keith McCluskey, and that's my promise. One price, the best price. The best service, our Total Value Promise. McCluskey Chevrolet, it's easy or it's free.
Sponsor the U.S. Adult Rec Pond Hockey Championship. Labatt Blue, Labatt Blue Light. Imported daily from Canada.
Jenny couldn't read fine print. She needed a new prescription.
At Pearl Vision, you can get a thorough eye exam and all the latest styles.
They're Jenny's eyes, but they're my responsibility.
Right now, get 50% off all lenses, including prescription sun lenses, at Pearl Vision.
They see Reds baseball the way it was intended, in a group. Take advantage of the Reds Hot Group Benefits program, featuring numerous half-price ticket games as you share Reds baseball with your family, friends, co-workers, classmates, or organization. Reds games, perfect activity for groups, as the excitement is contagious. It's Red Hot Benefits program. Visit Reds.com or call 513-765-7600. Here's Sir Albert Pujols. Walked on a 3-2 pitch first time up. That helped fuel the inning that culminated with John Rodriguez base hit that gave the Cardinals a 2-1 lead. Let the game come to you, and that's what Albert Pujols is so good at doing. I mean, he'll take a walk and prolong an inning, and at times he'll deliver the big hit, the clutch hit, the game-winning hit. Down to third, corralled by Encarnacion, and he gets the out. Pujols grounds out and one away, and here comes Scott Rolen, who struck out first time up. Hey, win a Pontiac Solstice this Saturday at Grand Victoria Casino and Rising Sun. Enter from 3 to 10 p.m. Restrictions apply. See the casino for rules. .55 pitches now into the third inning for Bronson Arroyo. He had a lengthy first and a prolonged second. And already today, 3 walks on the afternoon. Facing Rolen for the second time. You know, you get a pitcher, Chris, or any player that comes over from another team, and you wonder, you know, how will they fit in? And Bronson made it clear. I mean, he had a home in Boston. He just literally and figuratively bought a new place and was set to move in. There's a bouncer down to Phillips, and there's 2 away. And when he did come to Cincinnati before he left Boston, he said, you know, I'm unsettled because I wanted to stay here. I wanted to make Boston my home on the baseball field and off. And really, I mean, he handled it about as well as you can. He turned the page. It was his second trade. He was traded from Pittsburgh to Boston, and he made his major league home in Boston. And then little by little got more and more comfortable. But you evaluate players so much on when you talk to their former teammates, and the people that I talked to with the Red Sox this spring and now since the season has begun had nothing but great things to say about him, saying, you know, he's a gamer, he loves to play the game, he was a good teammate, and little by little that filters into your new home too, and that's what the Reds are finding out.
Yeah, you're exactly right, George. So many times people forget that the ball players are human beings, and they have good days at home and bad days at home, and they may have a problem going on in their personal life in one way or another. Maybe it's a child that's sick, maybe it's just a problem of moving from one part of the country to another, things that bother all of us, that, you know, but you would get evaluated by statistics on the baseball field.
Rodriguez, who drilled a double last time up, skies this one to center field. Under it is Friel. He's got it. There it is, a 1-2-3 inning for Bronson Arroyo. Reds go back to work. Arroyo due up fourth when we return.
The all-new Chevy Impala has a standard 211 horsepower V6. But did you know it gets better fuel economy than Toyota Camry V6? And includes features they just don't. Get a low-mileage lease on an 06 Impala 1LT for around $219 a month. Residence restrictions apply. Call for details. Chevy, America's #1 brand, America's #1 value. See your participating Tri-State Chevy dealer or visit trychevy.com.
Changing the outcome for kids from around the world. Cincinnati Children's Hospital Medical Center.
Come here, guys. Look at our field. We can't play here.
We can fix this.
This spring, kids have the power to revitalize their baseball field and make a real difference in their community. Now through April 30th, kids can nominate their field at BriggsDiamondsInTheRough.com. The grand prize is a $20,000 makeover and a baseball clinic hosted by Hall of Famers Lou Brock and Carlton Fisk. Briggs & Stratton, the power within.
On this Easter Sunday, Reds baseball on FSN being brought to you by your local Ford store, by JTM. More of what you're hungry for. By the Ohio Lottery. Want to win $1 million instantly? Play the Ohio Lottery's new $200 million cash spectacular. And by Cincinnati Children's Hospital, committed to excellence. Here's Edwin Encarnacion. Reds against the Redbirds. 2-1. 2 runs, 2 hits for the Cardinals. A run, 5 hits for Cincinnati. The Reds have left 4 stranded already. Encarnacion popped out to end the first. Slowest, and it's no balls and 2 strikes.
Yeah, he has had Edwin really all mixed up here, especially in this at bat. Edwin went to 3-2 the first time and popped it up to the second baseman, but he's been behind on an 83-mile-an-hour fastball and way ahead on that curveball. I'm wondering if Mark Mulder's had very good results so far. He's just coming off an outing against the Milwaukee Brewers of 8 innings of 2 earned run baseball, but I wonder if they're concerned about his arm speed and his velocity.
Ground out. Encarnacion retired. Here comes Phillips, and here comes as Daryl Cousins marches back to his spot. Our Aflac trivia question for this Easter Sunday.
Aflac!
Who are the only 4 players to lead the National League in runs for 3 consecutive seasons? The only 4 players to lead the National League in runs for 3 consecutive seasons. Answer coming up on our Aflac trivia question.
And we talked about earlier, George, about a possible infraction by one of the Cardinal players ongoing this afternoon. That would be Mark Mulder. You know that we've talked about the rule about positioning on the rubber. The rule book says that the entire foot has to be in contact with the pitching rubber. Now some pitchers will stretch that rule a little bit and hang their foot off the edge of the rubber. Now maybe we're just trying to push it a little bit. The bottom couple lines here, the entire foot on or in front of in contact with and not off the end of the pitcher's plate. That's a pitcher's rubber. Well, Mark Mulder on every pitch this afternoon is hanging off the edge of that rubber towards the third base side.
Ouch. Off his right leg, bounces up, gets the out.
Now, no umpire is going to say anything about it unless a manager or a coach on the other side says something. And is it something so nitpicky that Jerry Narron may not say something? Probably so. But the fact remains that that's the rule, and Mulder's not applying himself to the rule book. So, and with the way he's grooving himself right now, where he's kind of in a groove and found his rhythm and so on, you know, you make him move a few inches to the center of the rubber, maybe it upsets him a little bit.
Having said that, most veteran pitchers will duplicate that in one way or another from one side of the rubber or the other.
Well, I mean, if Major League Baseball has tried over the last few years to enforce the strike zone the way it's written in the rule book, why don't we enforce some of the other rules? That ball went off his glove, then off his shin. He chases away the trainers. He's going to be okay. But I mean, you know, what's fair for us is fair for them, I guess.
Unless you were on the mound today.
Well, then ignore what I've said.
Here's David Ross with 2 away. That's a bloop into right. It'll drop for a hit. Ross is 2 for 2, 2 singles to right. And here comes Bronson Arroyo. The Reds have out hit the Cardinals 6-2, but trail at 2-1. Friel has a hit. Aurelia has 2 hits. Kearns a run scoring base hit, and Ross 2 hits of his own. Here's Bronson, who tried to bunt on a 3-2 pitch and fouled it off for a strikeout. Right back to the pitcher. Mulder has it. That'll do it. The Reds will strand another. They've stranded 5 through 4. To the bottom of 4 we go. Spezio will lead it off.
Sure, the Nissan Altima is attractive, but we just turned up the heat. Introducing the 2006 Nissan Altima with the Special Edition package. 14 of our most popular options. Now lease the Nissan Altima with the Special Edition package for $199 per month. $199 per month. Did it just get hot in here?
Right now, as members of Best Western Speed Rewards, stay 6 nights and earn a free night, and earn points towards exclusive NASCAR licensed merchandise. Join today at bestwesternracing.com/free night.
They are the things that go bump in the night. The stories around the campfire you never wanted to believe. Or did you? Dare to explore big mysteries using real science.
They're opening up another door in your mind. It's just unbelievable.
Now see the truth for yourself and uncover the answer to one simple question. Is it real? Mondays on the National Geographic Channel. Dare to explore.
Before the first pitch, warm up with Real Reds, only on FSN Ohio. Get in-depth interviews that will take you beyond the box score, and you'll learn the keys to the game. 30 minutes before every game, watch Real Reds, only on FSN Ohio. Presented by Safe Auto.
With sports, Sam Steele. Sam? That was great coverage there, Sam.
For minimum coverage you can actually use, call 1-800-SAFE-AUTO.
You're watching Reds Baseball on FSN Ohio.
Welcome back to the new Busch Stadium in St. Louis. Time for our Aflac Trivia answer for the day. Who are the only 4 players to lead the National League in runs for 3 consecutive seasons? Aflac! You figure they'd be on pretty good offensive ball clubs, and you hit some pretty good names. Of course, Pete every year was in the top 5. Duke Snyder in his years in the old Ebbets Field, and Albert Pujols here in St. Louis, part of a pretty good offensive juggernaut of their own for the Redbirds. There's Scott Spezio to lead it off. Comes from a baseball family. His dad Ed, major leaguer. Molina will follow, and then Schumacher after him. Another guy that always was near the top of the list of league leaders in runs when he was here as the Hall of Famer from the St. Louis Cardinals, who still dresses. He's been in Major League Baseball in uniform for over 60 years. That's Red Shandings, the redhead, on the field today before the game. Red Shandings and Stan Musial were part of the opening ceremonies when they opened this ballpark. I mean, they've seen them all here. They were here for Sportsman's Park, then the first Busch Stadium. There's the redhead. What a great man. Outstanding ball player too. Great second baseman, good handler of the bat, steal a base for you, and was always near the top of the league in run score.
84 years old, still dresses out nearly every day, hits ground balls to the players, hangs around the backstop. It's just amazing, an amazing guy.
Still goes hunting, but his golf game suffered. He's got a bad shoulder. When he was right, man, he could hit a golf ball as far as anybody. That's great. You know, one thing that they've always done here in St. Louis is honor the past, and that's part of the Cardinal past right there, as well as the present, Red Shandings, and that's what Bob Castellini's doing in Cincinnati again too, bringing back some of the veteran Reds players of the past. That's a strikeout for Bronson Arroyo. Spezio's punched out, and here comes Molina. And when you add up the players we talked about on that list leading the National League in runs for 3 consecutive years, Duke Snider in the 50s, and Willie Mickey and the Duke, 3 great center fielders in New York then. Pete Rose in the 70s for Cincinnati, and then similar story when he went on to Philadelphia. There's a bloop down the right field line. Kearns, nice job of cutting it off, and that'll hold Molina to only a single. Part of being a successful major leaguer is to maximize your abilities, and no one ever thought Yadi Molina would be a great offensive player, and he understands his job and his role with this ball club comes first with defense and running the pitching staff, but he's become a better offensive player because he understands his limitation. He'll go a lot the other way, go a lot to right field.
He really had the biggest hit, I think, in the ball game yesterday, George. In the first inning, he was down 1-2 to Dave Williams in the first with a couple of runners on base, and Williams threw him a high fastball, and he drove the ball for a base hit. That kept the inning going, scored a couple of runs, and really it all fell apart for Dave Williams from then on. So you can't go to sleep with anybody, but Molina, I think, as he gets more experience in the major league, he's just going to become more and more of a better hitter. He's never going to win a batting crown, but he's certainly a guy that you can't go to sleep on.
One of the 3 Molina brothers, all of them catchers, all of them major league catchers. Here's Schumacher, walked in the second inning. Hit pretty good to center. Back at the warning track is Friel. Under it, Molina goes back to tag up, but he's going nowhere. So 2 away, and here comes the pitcher Mark Mulder. By the way, the Reds wrap up this series today, and then we'll head back home to take on the Florida Marlins. Okay, quick, name 5, 3, 2, or 1 Florida Marlin.
Dontrelle Willis.
The Marlins against the Reds. Real Reds at 6:30. The game will follow. That's tomorrow right here on FSN. Tomorrow it'll be Brandon Clausen against another one you could name.
Brian Moeller.
Brian Moeller, the former Red. There's a bouncer down to third, and Encarnacion takes care of it. More to talk about when we return. Bronson Arroyo and Mulder hooked up in a 2-1 game. We're going to the 5th.
Not too close. What do you think? I got that insurance?
What insurance is that, Yogi?
Aflac. The one you really need to have. If you don't have it, that's why you need it.
Need what?
Aflac. Well, if you get hurt and miss work, it won't hurt to miss work. And they give you cash, which is just as good as money.
Aflac. Ask about it at work.
At Ford, we believe that you should get more. More style with the new Ford Fusion. It's got the critics buzzing and has all the performance you want with less stops at the pump. Buy or lease a new Ford Fusion, and for a limited time, we'll match your down payment up to $1,000. Ford Fusion, more miles per gallon for less than 18 grand or just $219 a month, only at your local Ford store.
Changing the outcome for kids from around the world. Cincinnati Children's Hospital Medical Center.
Cincinnati Reds baseball on FSN being brought to you by Chevrolet. Visit TriCityChevy.com for outstanding values on America's #1 value. Yes, done. By State Farm. Great service, great rates. You can get it all from State Farm. By Domino's. Call Domino's. Ask for their new XLP pepperoni pizza for only $9.99. And by your local Honda dealers. Visit myHondaCincinnatiHondaDealer.com for your best Honda buy. Great to have you with us here in St. Louis, the city by the arch, as the Reds and Redbirds wrap up a 3-game set. Ryan Friel, top of the order, to lead it off for Cincinnati. Friel, a double and a strikeout. 2 runs, 3 hits, no errors, 4 left for St. Louis. A run, 6 hits, no errors, 5 left for Cincinnati. In the first, Friel doubled, and after Lopez struck out, or really a single, to put runners at first and third. And Dunn struck out. Kern singled, and the Reds had their lone run. Ball and 2 strikes. Tony La Russa has a different kind of ball club from what he usually has. So does Jerry Narron this year. Narron, his first full year as manager in Cincinnati. There's a shot to the right side, backhanded by Miles, comes up throwing, and they just get him. Nice play by the former Colorado infielder, who gets the speedy Friel down at first.
And it appeared for a moment that Ryan Friel might have a chance to beat this out, but Miles shows a pretty strong arm going deep into the hole behind second base. Stands up and delivers it crisply over to first, and Pujols stretches and makes the out. Good arm.
Against the speedy Friel, that's even a more impressive play. There's a bloop to right. That's a base hit. Lopez trying for 2. Here comes the throw, and he'll be in there. Rodriguez rolled over and slipped on the grass. That's the 3rd time we've seen players slip on the turf in this game. And as soon as he did, Felipe was just hitting the bag. We had the play in front of him, and he turned on the Jets.
Well, you know, he kind of cruised down to first base. Felipe did. You see him right there, and then he'll turn it on when he sees the right fielder fall down. So when Rodriguez goes down, a head-first slide by Felipe gets him into second base. Rodriguez, meanwhile, he was up and replacing his divot after this.
So Felipe's in scoring position, 1 out, 1 on. They're going to charge the right fielder with an error. It's a base hit and an error on the right fielder, allowing the runner to go to second. Here's Aurelia. Rich has hit the ball hard twice. Single to left, double down the line and left. In the first series against Milwaukee, Cardinal outfielders were complaining a bit about the grass. First, the texture. Secondly, the way it was cut. Here's a dribbler in front of the mound. Mulder has it, and Pujols just does keep the foot on, and the runner can't advance. Felipe thought of going to third, but because Molina was out quickly along with Mulder, and I think Molina did the right thing. Once he saw that the runner wasn't trying to go to third, he let Mulder pick it up. If the runner had tried to go to third, Molina probably would have taken charge. So there's 2 away now, still a runner sitting at second. Jim Edmonds was charged with 2 errors in the last game of the series against Milwaukee, then an error in the first game of the series against the Reds. That's 3 errors for the 8-time Gold Glover. He had only 2 errors all of last year. That's foul, pass first. Dunn struck out in the first and hit a dribbler off the plate and was tagged out by Molina in the third.
Yeah, 1 for 10 so far in this series is the Reds cleanup hitter. Not one being a long ball.
Cardinals have pitched the Reds' best hitters better than anybody in the National League in recent years. That's partly because they got pretty good pitchers, but they have pitchers that execute a game plan that Dave Duncan is drawn up pretty well.
Yeah, it doesn't help to have also Ken Griffey Jr. not playing this series either. He would have made, I think, a big difference yesterday given his career record against Sidney Ponson, and just missing Jr. in the middle of the lineup has an effect on the rest of the lineup itself.
The numbers are obvious, but the presence, and even talking to La Russa before the series, he said, first question, you get this first question, Chris, how's Griffey? Is he playing?
He asks you every day. Can he pinch hit?
Yeah.
How's he swinging the bat?
It changes the whole dynamics of how the opposing manager or pitching coach run a ball game. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The Reds were blessed with a pretty solid physical year for Ken Griffey Jr. last year, and he responded as the comeback player of the year in the National League. And I think Jerry Narron and Mark Mann, as well as Wayne Krivsky and Dr. Kremchek, have taken the right approach here early in the season. You don't need to rush Griffey back. Same thing with LaRue. I mean, it's more important that they're healthy for the long run as opposed to getting a game or 2 in April.
Looks like a little changeup inside. Molina wanted it outside. I guess that's a curveball, 66-mile-an-hour curveball. But just kind of flipping it up there.
It goes 3-2 to Dunn with 2 away, and Aurelia going, and it's fouled off. Even without a runner behind him, Aurelia, I mean, Mulder never stopped him. I mean, Mulder never stopped him, and he rolled into third, and he would have gotten there easily. And had a base hit been struck, he would have scored easily. 3-2. We'll try it again with 2 away. Swing it high in the air to left center. Does he have enough giddy up? Back to the warning track, to the wall. It's going to be gone. Adam Dunn's 2nd homer of the series, and he finally figured out Mulder. Mulder elevated a little bit, and Dunn elevates it a big bit out to left center field. That's the wind alley here at this ballpark, and this one gives the Reds a 3-2 lead.
Well, when a big guy hits them, they stay hit, and that, yeah, there is a little bit of a wind alley in left center field, much like in Great American Ballpark at home. It's right center field, but Adam Dunn goes the other way, a little 77-mile-an-hour cutter, I guess it looked like, maybe a little bit of a slider. That's our Ohio Lottery instant replay. Homer to left center by Adam Dunn.
Number 7 for Dunn, and the Reds have taken a 3-2 lead. Now the chant out there is throw it back, throw it back. So far, whoever caught it showing no indication that they'll throw it back.
Well, this year at Busch Stadium #3, they've got a baseball that commemorates the inaugural season here. It's got a special stamp on it. So if you've caught one of those baseballs, I would think that that's rather a special baseball. I wouldn't be throwing it back, especially if you wait till the next pitch, because the most rules in most stadiums are if you wait till the next pitch to throw it back, you're going to be ejected from the ballpark. So then you get a double whammy, no baseball and no seat to watch the game.
How about you've gone out in the bleachers at Wrigley, and you know everybody sitting in the bleachers has what in their pocket? Another baseball. So if you catch a baseball, you reach into your pocket and take out your little league ball and throw that back on the field, so the fans will get off your back and you get to keep the ball.
Right.
Here's the 3-1. Kearns fouls it off. We'll go full again, 3-2. Now give Dunn credit. Boy, he was befuddled by Mulder, but he finally dials up big to left center field.
You see enough pitches to kind of get in tune with the velocity that Mulder is throwing. I mean, his fastball's topping at 84. His slow curveball's coming in around 65 or 66. So it's not like he should throw it by you.
Kearns, does he have this one? Left center, up and gone. Austin Kearns goes back to back. Speaking of that 1998 draft, Chris, Kearns and Dunn from the Reds both deliver here. Back-to-back homers, and the Reds now lead at 4-2.
Well, Kearns was signed in the first round by the Reds in 1998 out of high school. Mulder was a 1998 first-round pick by the Oakland A's out of Michigan State. So the 98 draft has been big in this particular inning. Both the home runs were hit by 98 draftees, Dunn and Kearns, off of Mulder. This was a line drive variety.
Question was, would it be high enough? And it was, as it clears the wall, and the Reds have a 4-2 lead. So Cincinnati finally cashes in here in inning number 5. And you bring up a great point, because if you go by a scouting report over Mark Mulder of the last few years based on velocity and pitch selection, what he's doing today is different from what that scouting report would have shown. The velocity is different. The pitches that he's using are different, and it takes you a time or two through the lineup before you adjust, and the Reds are doing that.
And it's adjusting to the speed. You know, hitters, just because you throw 95 miles an hour doesn't mean you're not going to get hit. You can get guys out throwing slower. They hit what they see, not the radar gun. But he's getting the ball up a little bit now. And I think also the Reds now, through the third time through the order, they've seen Mulder. They've seen his release point. They see how fast the ball is. So where they may have thought they had to be prepared for a fastball, they don't have to now.
Here are the numbers. Felipe Lopez picked by Toronto, joining Kearns and Dunn in the Reds lineup. And Mark Mulder picked by Oakland, second overall in '98. Pretty good draft, and this year as well figures out to be a pretty good draft year coming up. Two pretty close friends there, Kearns and Dunn, and they both deliver for the Reds here in the 5th.
I think Wayne Krivsky would probably take another 1998 Kearns and Dunn type pick in the first couple of picks in this upcoming draft.
The Reds had in the 80s a pretty good draft. That whole Larkin year, they had a pretty good year that year. They'd love something like that about 10 years later. Encarnacion drifts back to first. Over the long haul, especially in this day and age, if you're a small or medium market team, you've got to maximize your draft capabilities, not just the first round, but more importantly 10, 12, 15. Those are the rounds where you have to find somebody that again becomes productive in your organization in 2, 3, 4 years down the road.
You mean like the Cardinals did in 1999, when in the 13th round they picked Albert Pujols?
Yep.
You know, if that happens, I'm calling my scouts in. I'm saying you got some explaining to do here.
You're calling.
How did he go in the 13th round?
How about Piazza in the 72nd round? You know, and that's by the Dodgers. The only reason why they drafted him was because of Lasorda. Here's Brandon Phillips, up for the third time, bounced back to the pitcher twice, 0 for 2.
Well, they've got some activity down in the Cardinal bullpen, and you know, we mentioned it a lot today, George, of Mark Mulder's velocity. I'm wondering if maybe, you know, I know that he might be running out of gas. He's right around 100 pitches, but he's never really appeared to me like he's getting his arm through his delivery like he used to get it through, just lagging a little bit behind things. And the Reds have made solid contact in this inning.
This one hit pretty good to left. Here comes the left fielder in, and he's got it. Spezio finally tracks it down in the corner, but not before the Reds do some business. Back-to-back bombs. Dunn and Kearns, and the Reds lead it 4-2.
Success is measured by passing certain milestones, like building the best-selling car in history, then building it better. Toyota Corolla gets 41 miles to the gallon and holds its value better than anything else in its class. And now, a new 06 Corolla is an even better value with $500 cash back. Great deals begin with great cars. So keep doing what you do best. We will too. Toyota, moving forward.
Ah, the delicious time you could have at Grand Victoria Casino's great restaurants. Fantastic cuisine, delightful atmospheres. But hey, you really have to be here to enjoy them.
Honey, you haven't even tried your broccoli yet.
Win a Pontiac Solstice this Saturday from 3 to 10 at Grand Victoria Casino in Rising Sun.
15 seconds to fold. 15 seconds to go all in. The clock is ticking. The MansionPoker.net Speed Poker Championship, Sunday on FSN.
It's family fun time on Sunday, April 30th, thanks to your Cincinnati Reds and Reach Magazine. Reds are offering families half-price, non-premium tickets in advance of game day when a family member purchases a full-price ticket. Take in an afternoon of great baseball as the Reds take on the Astros during Reach Magazine Family Day, Sunday, April 30th. For tickets, visit the Reds advanced ticket windows or select Meijer stores. Bronson Arroyo back to work. David Eckstein, Miles, then Pujols, 1, 2, and 3 for the Cardinals. Reds have out-hit St. Louis 10-3, only lead at 4-2. So Arroyo trying to keep it right where it is against this Redbird offense. Action in the bullpen for St. Louis. Popped up right side. Kearns playing short, and he'll call off Phillips. He's got it, one away. Eckstein 1 for 2, a walk and a single. Our Cincinnati Children's Hospital Down on the Farm report. The Chattanooga Lookouts won 2-1 in 10 innings yesterday versus Carolina. They've won 4 of 5 games in the series. Calvin Medlock 2-1. Alex Sanchez game-winning sacrifice fly in the 10th inning. Next series 5 games at Mobile. Jamie Ramsey and Larry Herms will be bringing us the minor league report all season long. Now that Mike Vassallo's moved on to Milwaukee, we'll get to see Mike in his new role soon. Lopez bounces up and throws it away, and it goes into the seats. It'll go as an error. It'll go as a base hit and an error by Felipe. He makes a great stop, and really, Chris should have put it in his pocket. Didn't have much of a chance here.
Yeah, but you know what? Your adrenaline's going. You made a diving stop. You're thinking, you know what? I've got a good arm, and I'm going to throw somebody out right here. And he's got really no chance to stand up and aim. You just jump to your feet and let it go. And unfortunately for Felipe, he just threw it high over the head of Rich Aurelio. I love that effort, though. I really do.
Great stop. But against the speedy Miles, not much of a chance. So Miles winds up at second, and the tying run comes to the plate, and oh yeah, it's Albert. Pujols a walk on a 3-2 pitch and a bounce out. Facing Arroyo for the 3rd time. That one's a little low for a ball. Hey, if your child suffers a sports-related injury, ask your doctor about the sports medicine program at Cincinnati Children's, or call us at 513-636-PLAY. Pujols 25 career homers against Cincinnati. 78 runs batted in, and coming into today a .378 average. All told, already he's over 200 homers, 206 for his career. So it was in this city that Ken Griffey Jr. hit his 500th career home run against the Cardinals. And Chris, if you're looking at anybody who's next on the list to be a threatening contender for all-time home run honors, you got to put this young man on that list.
Oh, it's like we said yesterday, George. You might as well just go ahead and build the statue for him right now.
2 balls, 1 strike.
I mean, his worst year since breaking into the league in the year 2001, he had .314 with 34 home runs. That's in his bad year. Oh, by the way, he knocked in 127 that year.
And he battled a couple of injuries that year too, and still put up numbers.
I mean, the injuries that he had last year with that foot injury that he had, I'm not sure it was plantar fasciitis, but it's something like that, a tendon problem in his foot. I mean, you could see him hobbling around, but he still put immense numbers out. 330, 41 home runs.
Look out, there's a rocket. If it's fair, it's gone. It's curving. It is gone. Doesn't take much of a mistake to have number 5 do something with it, and he does with that one. Brand new ball game. We're tied at 4. 26 career homer against the Reds, his 6th homer of this year.
Now that's the kind of home run pitch that Bronson Arroyo probably kicking himself about a little bit. After all, with the error that allowed Aaron Miles to go to second base, you had a base open for Albert Pujols. And not that you want to pitch around Pujols so you can pitch to Scott Rowland, but that is certainly a pitch right there that Albert does not miss very often.
Curtain call is what they want. Curtain call is what they get as Albert circles the bases. And we're tied at 4. 2-2 pitch drilled like a rocket into the first level and left.
You know, you can almost get the feeling in that at bat that he was sitting on fastball. He took a 1-0 breaking ball right down the middle, looked like a hanger from Arroyo, and didn't even flinch. Like he said, nope, that's not the one I'm waiting for. And he finally got one up. Arroyo made the mistake. And when you're Pujols, as well tuned as he is, and you get the pitch that you're looking for in a location that you can hammer it, that's exactly what you're going to do to it.
There's the 1-1 that's wide. You hear it often that pitchers are trying to set hitters up. Pujols is one of those hitters that can set a pitcher up.
You're not kidding.
2-1. Deep to left. Dunn, all he can do is look up and say that's gone up in the third deck. Scott Rowland joins the parade, his 3rd homer of the year, and the Cardinals have a 5-4 lead.
The best home run trot in baseball. Scott Rowland hits him and he runs around like he's hit him before. Puts his head down and he'll just kind of a fast jog around the bases. Never tries to show up the pitcher, even though that ball went into the second deck.
Well, Dunn and Kearns went back-to-back. Pujols and Rowland go back-to-back. And it's 5-4 St. Louis.
You know, George, after Friday night's 1-0 ball game, walked out with a lot of the fans, and I heard them all grumbling about what a horrible game it was. No, it was a boring game, 1-0. You know, and they probably thought this was a boring game too, when it was low scoring. But now that you've seen a couple of guys go deep, boy, all of a sudden this crowd seems to have become invigorated.
And the two guys that juice him the best are Pujols and Rowland. Dunn and Kearns did it for the Reds today with back-to-back homers, and Pujols and Rowland have done the same. 5 runs, 6 hits for St. Louis, 4 runs, 10 hits for the Reds. Two. John Rodriguez, first time up, doubled in the first inning, knocked in 2 to give the Cardinals their first lead, 2-1. Slap down to first. Aurelia has it. Second out of the inning. And that'll bring up Spezio. And all you can do if you're Bronson Arroyo is turn around and say, wow, when somebody hits one like Rowland hit it, that's about what he did. Here's Scott Spezio. He homered yesterday for the Cardinals. Today he's 0 for 2, a fly ball to center and a strikeout. Way out in front. Arroyo takes a little off. Wide of second, backhanded by Phillips, and that'll do it. But the damage done. A single by Miles, a homer by Pujols, a homer by Rowland, and the Cardinals have a 5-4 lead.
Isn't it about time for an upgrade? Take advantage of the Acura upgrade opportunity and experience satellite-linked voice-activated technology and special 2.9% APR financing.
Hey Reds fans, get the inside scoop on what's happening with your team on Reds Weekly. Join host Jim Day for an exclusive look at what lies ahead for the Reds throughout the 2006 season. Catch highlights, interviews, and go behind the scenes with the pros as we break down the upcoming events. Reds Weekly, presented by First Horizon Home Loans.
Beyond the icons, beyond the stories, beneath the scriptures, lies the truth about the secrets of the Bible. Dare to uncover how major events in the Bible really unfolded using the latest forensic technology. Investigate the truth behind the Bible's biggest mysteries on Science of the Bible. Wednesdays on the National Geographic Channel. Dare to explore.
You're watching Reds Baseball on FSN Ohio.
Back in St. Louis, Albert Pujols and Scott Rowland have given the Cardinal fans something to cheer about and given their ball club a 5-4 lead. 5 runs, 6 hits, and an error for St. Louis. 4-10-1 for the Reds. And a double switch made by Tony La Russa. New pitcher, new right fielder. Here's your new chucker, Chris.
Yeah, his brand name is Brad Thompson. He came into the ball game yesterday, pitching an inning in which he gave up a couple of hits. He gave up a double to Edwin Encarnacion and a base hit to Austin Kearns. But this young right-hander came up through the minor league system, and there's Juan Encarnacion, former Red, former Florida Marlin, taking over in right field.
For Thompson to go to work. Mulder, even though he struggled, giving up 10 hits and 4 runs, exits with a chance for a victory. As we go to the 6th inning, he exits as the pitcher of record in a 5-4 ball game. Reds go back to work. It'll be Ross, and then the pitcher spot. And there is action in the Reds bullpen. Here are the numbers for Thompson, Chris.
This season, he's 1-1 with a 1.8 earned run average, and having a low earned run average for Brad Thompson, nothing new. He's got one of the most noteworthy scoreless streaks in minor league baseball history. Back in 2004, when Thompson was pitching for the Tennessee Smokies, he just fell 2 innings short of an all-time minor league record of a scoreless streak that went 57 2/3 innings. He was just a couple of innings short of one that was set back in 1907. So he knows what it is all about, throwing zeros on the board.
Bronson Arroyo's day is done. Tony Womack, the former Cardinal, will come in to pinch hit. So Bronson allows 5 runs, 6 hits in his 5 innings of work. And here comes Womack. Rick White up loosening in the Reds bullpen. So Taguchi has entered the game in left. So 3 changes for the Cardinals in the inning. Taguchi in left, Encarnacion in right, and Thompson on the mound. 1-run ball game. Bounce. What a play by Pujols. Olay. He hung with it, makes a play, and it's his 3rd fine play of this series. And he robs possible extra bases from Womack.
I'm not even sure if Albert knew he had this ball. Took a wicked hop on him right there, and he turns around and makes a play at first base. Boy, he has been one huge pulsating glove out there in this series. He snagged several line drives yesterday, and he finds himself in a position to make another fine play here this afternoon. If you're looking to get more out of your grill this summer, try JTM's Grill and Ribs. JTM, more of what you're hungry for.
Top of the order for the Reds, Ryan Friel with 2 away. So it's a bullpen kind of ball game from here on out. Rick White ready to come in for Cincinnati, and Thompson in already. Arroyo and Mulder each have exited. Bronson, 5 innings, 6 hits. Three strikeouts and 3 walks for Bronson. And Bronson threw 94 pitches on the afternoon. Mulder threw 99 pitches. And there's a ball 4 to Friel. So Ryan marches down to first. He's on for the second time. 1 for 3 and the walk. And don't forget, if you want to keep up on baseball week in and week out, this is the place for you. Friday night, you got to look around Major League Baseball with FSN Baseball Report, covering every team all season long with highlights, interviews, analysis, and a whole lot more. FSN Baseball Report, Friday on FSN. Well, here's Felipe, singled his last time up, 1 for 3. We'll see if Friel might be off to the races. Pretty good lead down at first. They'll chase him back. Not going. That's a strike. Now, the other thing you forgot to mention, and both of us, you know, when you look back at Albert Pujols, Chris, when he first came up, here's the 0-1. They'll toss over there again. That's off. Friel's back, but not going far enough to allow him to advance. And Billy Hatcher asked for time. But remember, Mark McGwire was the first baseman. Pujols had to play third, had to play left, had to play right. They moved him around, and in spite of all that, he put up offensive numbers. Now he's at his most comfortable position, which is first.
He may be a better fielder because he went around and played those different positions as well. A little bigger lead this time for Ryan Friel.
Not going. And it's slap foul, 0-2.
Thompson's fairly quick to the plate. Not an easy guy to get a big jump on. Molina, one of the best in the league at throwing runners out. Still all, if you're Ryan Friel, your team's 1 run down, you got a couple outs, maybe not on this 0-2 count, but you certainly think that you'd like to get the second base, so just a base hit could score you. I think Thompson's got a couple of different moves at first, and that's not the good one there. He kind of deliberately threw that one over there, almost wound up and threw. You know, a lot of times, George, and I'm not sure how the Cardinals do it, but a lot of times the call as to whether to throw it over to first base or not comes from the dugout. Might be Dave Duncan calling the defensive shots over there. Maybe it's
La Russa.
La Russa, yeah.
0-2. Did he hold on? Yes, he does. And Felipe's punched out. So the Reds get a runner on a walk. Nothing to show for it. They trail 5-4 to the bottom of 6 we go.
Busy families are always looking for a little help. One that helps make it safer for your kids, is great at keeping things organized, and is a versatile multitasker. But if all that's not enough, check out our stellar references, like a Consumer Guide Best Buy Award, Dodge Grand Caravan. A little help goes a long way. Now qualified lessees can lease Grand Caravan SXT for $219 a month or get generous cash allowances.
Hi, Mom.
Oh, hi, honey. This is my son, Michael.
I thought we were working on your prescription plan.
Already did it.
Really?
I called, and it looks like I'm going to save over 40% on my prescriptions next year.
Great. Well, I'm just going to...
Oh, you said you had all afternoon. Come sit down, visit.
Signing up for the Medicare drug plan with Anthem is easier than you think. Give us a call and we'll talk you through it, or call your agent and feel better.
Come here, guys. Look at our field. We can't play here.
We can fix this.
This spring, kids have the power to revitalize their baseball field and make a real difference in their community. Now through April 30th, kids can nominate their field at BriggsDiamondsInTheRough.com. The grand prize is a $20,000 makeover and a baseball clinic hosted by Hall of Famers Lou Brock and Carlton Fisk. Briggs & Stratton, the power within.
TV ratings are made for everyone. Using your television's parental controls along with the TV ratings found on each program gives you the power to choose which shows are suitable for your family. For more, visit this website or call the number on your screen.
Welcome back to the Coors Light 6th inning. Now it's time to refresh your inner fan with Coors Light.
Pete Rose is 41.92, the hit.
That's a big moment.
That was a quickie. And Rick White hopes it's a quickie too for him. He's peering now in his 525th ball game. He's had 18 starts in his career that started back in 1994 when he broke in with the Pittsburgh Pirates. Young man from Kenton Ridge High School in Springfield, Ohio, along with Dave Burba and Dustin Hermanson, three notable major league pitchers that came through that fine program.
See, who's the best hitter?
Well, Burbs will tell you.
Burbs will always say yes.
And against the Reds, you can't argue with it.
Who's that guy on the right?
Separated at birth, Rick White, and
it's either Governor Jesse Ventura or Rick White's brother. So Rick White's ready to go to work. That's a bouncer wide of third, Encarnacion has it. Molina's retired. Yadi Molina 1 for 3, a single last time up. Ohio Lottery winning numbers. Last night's draw, pick 3 001 pick 4 9136 9136, rolling cash 5, the 11 12 17 24 35. Hope you had a winner in the Ohio Lottery. Schumacher sends it to left. Dunn going back. Got it. 2 away. That's what you want. A couple of pitches, couple of outs for Rick White.
And you really want the little guys that try to hit the ball the other way. Schumacher, you know, not the kind of player you'd expect that could be able to go deep going out the back door. You jam the ball in on Yadi Molina, you put the ball away to Schumacher, and now you're within a batter going through 1 through 3 inning.
There's Sotoguchi up for the first time. He came in that double switch last inning. He's hitting in the 9th spot in the order. Taguchi hits 9th, Encarnacion hits 5th, and the pitcher Thompson in the 6th spot. Eckstein on deck. The short. Felipe has it. Wide of the bag. Nice play by Arilli. He slaps the tag. And it's an easy 1-2-3 for Rick White. Reds go back to work, going to the 7th, down by 1.
Hyundai's Proving Grounds, the perfect place to announce the Hyundai Challenge. We're out to prove that our new Sonata is the best value running. Here are the stats. More standard safety features and interior space than a Honda Accord. America's best warranty. $4,500 less than Accord. Need more data? Go to our best Proving Ground. Your nearest Hyundai dealer.
Take the Hyundai Challenge and then take your pick on Sonata. A $199 a month lease up to $2,500 cash back or 2.9% APR for up to 60 months and $1,000 bonus cash. Hurry, ends May 1st.
Sponsor the U.S. Adult Rec Pond Hockey Championship. Labatt Blue, Labatt Blue Light, imported daily from Canada.
You don't have to go this far to bring home the action of the Kentucky Derby. Watch TVG for exclusive pre-Derby coverage leading to the Run for the Roses. Go to TVG.com and sign up for free. Bring home the action of the very best races from the very best tracks, live 7 days a week. TVG.com and sign up for free.
You're watching Reds baseball on FSN Ohio.
Hey, Reds fans, get MLB.com on game day audio and listen to every single Reds game live right from your computer. Sign up exclusively at Reds.com. Adam Wainwright has been strong coming in out of the bullpen for the Cardinals will take over. Wainwright becomes the third pitcher for the Redbirds, and he'll face Rich Aurelia to lead it off as we go to the top of the 7th inning. The numbers for him: 5th game of the year, yet to be scored upon, and he's been probably the most effective bullpenner for Dave Duncan and Tony La Russa thus far. Cardinals have had trouble at the tail end of a bullpen. Jason Isringhausen still trying to get everything in gear, and you know he will. Braden Looper struggled a bit too. Well, the Reds hope to do some business as we head to 7, 8, and 9 against the Cardinals in a 1-run ball game. Rowland, quick flip, and he got him. What a play by Scott Rowland, going way wide from the bag in front of Eckstein. And a quick throw to first, one away.
He covers as much ground over at third base as anybody, and he's nearly perfect when he throws the ball. A perfect delivery over to Albert Pujols, and he makes a high chopper that had the potential to be an infield hit into almost a routine out.
Big homer, big defensive play, one away, and here comes Adam Dunn. Dunn and Kearns went back to back in the 5th inning to give the Reds a brief lead of 4-2, and the Cardinals came back in their half of the 5th, and Pujols and Rowland went back to back, and St. Louis leads at 5-4. The Reds last year had over 200 home runs, and they're ahead of that pace this year. You saw Dunn's numbers, 7 on the year already. And we're not even to the 3rd week of the month. Dunn broke a tie with Lance Berkman going into play today. Pujols moved into a tie for 2nd with his homer. That's a walk to Dunn. In the 5th, Dunn homered, so did Kearns, and now here comes Austin Kearns. Dunn went to left, and Kearns drilled one to left, and here's Austin. His homer was his 4th of the year.
Wainwright, one of those pitchers, he was acquired from the Atlanta Braves back in 2003 in the J.D. Drew deal, but he is a guy that has really come along. One of those pitchers that was used as primarily a starter in the minor leagues, and he comes up to big leagues, can't break into this rotation. They're going to use him in middle relief.
Kearns pops it up right side. Pujols over. So's Miles. Miles will take charge, and he's got it. 2 away. And here comes Edwin Encarnacion. And the Reds, Chris, have another former Atlanta pitcher in a similar role with them right now. We saw him yesterday, Matt Belisle. And he's at the similar stage of his career where, you know, what do? Put him in middle relief, stretch him out a little bit. Might he be a starter or might he be a closer? But I think it's very clear that the Cardinals are high on Wainwright and the Reds are high on Matt Belisle.
Yeah, you're right, George. And I think that right now, anyway, both of the starting rotations on either of these teams are pretty well set. You know, you're going to give Dave Williams several more starts before you decide to make a change in a number 5 spot. But, you know, in the meantime, Belisle has to just do what he is asked to do and down the bullpen. Better than pitching every 5th day in the minor leagues, I tell you that. From a personal standpoint, you know, a ball club will send a player down and say, you know, we want you to get at bats, we want you to get pitches in and so on. But, you know, if you ask the player, 9 out of 10 of them are going to tell you, I'd rather be here in the big leagues.
Short lead for Dunn. There's a delivery to Encarnacion. It's up high, and it's 3-0.
Well, he did have 12 wild pitches last year when he was pitching for Memphis. Made 29 starts and had 189 innings pitched. Got a very good curveball, and he's in danger here of walking a second batter in the inning.
And he does. So 2 walks, 2 on, and here comes Brandon Phillips. Phillips today sitting on an 0 for 3. Defensively, the Cardinals will get together.
And everybody in the infield came in on that meeting except for Scott Rowland. Scott Rowland went over to talk to the third base umpire. Everybody else came in. I don't think they're really talking all that much in the way of defensive strategy here, not with 2 outs, but they may want to make everybody aware that Brandon Phillips might attempt to drop a bunt down. And it could be also just to try to cool the young man down. Wainwright's only 24.
Randy Flores up loosening in the bullpen, one of 2 lefties in this bullpen for St. Louis. This hit pretty good to left, but Taguchi's right there. He's got it. That'll do it. The Reds threaten thanks to 2 walks. Nothing to show for it. They now have stranded 9 on this afternoon. Now it's time for our Tri-State Chevy dealer's 7th inning stretch.
Meet an overachiever that isn't afraid to have fun.
Chevy Cobalt.
It's got a solid powertrain warranty.
Outstanding fuel economy.
And a 145 horsepower Ecotec engine.
Chevy Cobalt. It's a great ride.
Lease a 2006 Cobalt Coupe LS for around $159 a month. Residency restrictions apply. Call for details.
Cobalt from Chevy. America's #1 brand. America's #1 value.
See your participating Tri-State Chevy dealer or visit trychevy.com.
Attention passengers. We are currently experiencing delays. We apologize for the inconvenience.
Of a long, hot day, grab the beer that starts out cold and ends up refreshing. Coors Light. Taste the cold.
You know, I gotta tell you, since I've been hurt and missing work, you've been a big help to this family. No, really. The cash we get from Aflac helps us maintain the house, put food on the table. And my Jenny continues with her piano lessons. Yep, this family's doing just fine. And it's all thanks to
Aflac. Ask about it at work.
A John Deere 100 series can be yours starting at $13.99. Welcome to the John Deere neighborhood. Now available in more stores than ever. See the full line at johndeere.com.
Back at St. Louis, happy Easter, everybody. Want to send our love, thoughts, and best wishes to everybody who's part of the Reds family on this Easter Sunday, and this week a happy Passover as well. Hope you've taken some time to reflect on the meaning of this for you and your faith on this very special week. And here in St. Louis, the Reds trying to keep it right where it is and rally against the Redbirds in their first series at the new Busch Stadium. Back to the top of the order, David Eckstein will lead it off. Eckstein singled and scored in the first. He walked in the second, flied out in the fifth, and here we are in the seventh, going back to work. Ball 1 from Rick White, who had a quick 1-2-3 in his first inning of work. Looking ahead to the 8th, bottom of the order due up for Cincinnati, and remember, King Griffey Jr. is available to pinch hit today for the Reds. That's a bouncer past White. Phillips can't get it. Eckstein's on again. He's on for the 3rd time today.
That's the 3rd time today that the Cardinal leadoff hitter has led off an inning, and 2nd time that he's been on as a leadoff hitter. So you got to figure that with just a 1-run lead, What Tony La Russa has done so far this season and in this series, rather than trying to send Eckstein on a straight steal, they may just try to use Miles as a hit and run, maybe sacrifice, but you got to figure something's up right now.
It is a different Cardinal team than the last couple of years. Not as much power in the two corner outfield spots. So La Russa has been running and hitting and running more than he has in the last few years. Short lead for Eckstein. Miles, pretty good bunter as well as a hit and run guy, and installed in this number 2 spot. Today Miles bounced out twice and reached on an infield hit in the 5th, and then scored on the Pujols homer. Runner not going. There's a strike. Last year in Colorado, Miles hit .281. Picked up in a trade this winter. They keep filling in the blanks, don't they? I mean, they've had Rezolanic, Womack, and now Miles at second, and all of them have been productive when they were here. Dribbled right back to White. They'll go to second. Got one on to first. Yes, sirree. A 1-6-3 double play. Nice play by Rick White.
Yeah, Miles gets down the line pretty quickly, so you can't take too long in feeding the shortstop the ball once you get it, and he does not take very long at all. Our John Morrell hot dog player of the game, a 1-6-3 twin killing. Good turn by Felipe Lopez on a peg from White that really was not all that great. It was actually to the shortstop side and down low, but he picked it, came up throwing, and just like that you erase the threat.
That's the value of a strong arm, because you could see it on that replay. It was a flat-footed throw, and unless you got something on that arm, you can't make that play against a guy that runs like Miles. So the base runner erased, and here comes Albert. Pujols walk, grounded out, and ripped his 6th homer of the year and his 26th homer against the Reds in his career. They measured that 5th inning homer at 419 feet for Albert. Two and one to count to Pujols. Left, going back, and gone. He can turn him around fast, can't he? 2 today for Pujols, 7 on the year, 27 against Cincinnati, and he's given the St. Louis Cardinals a 2-run lead, 6-4.
Newsflash, this guy can flat out hit. Both of the pitches that he has hit today for home runs, fastballs. Bronson Arroyo fed him one waist high in the 5th inning, and that one got up from Rick White, and he launched it. Those are line drives.
It's about 3 seats away from where the last one went, and he gets his 2nd curtain call of the day, too. (6-4) St. Louis. At one point, the Reds had out-hit the Cardinals 10-4 and had a 4-2 lead. And now it's the Reds 10 hits, the Cardinals 8, and the Redbirds, thanks to the long ball, 3 homers in the last 2 innings, lead it 6-4. This one lined to center. Here comes Friel. Does he hold on? Yes, he does. Ryan Friel makes a nice diving stop of Roland's liner, but before this inning's over, Pujols dials deep again at 6-4 St. Louis.
At Ford, we believe that you should get more. More style with the new Ford Fusion.
It's got the critics buzzing and has all the performance you want with less stops at the pump. Buy or lease a new Ford Fusion, and for a limited time, we'll match your down payment up to $1,000. Ford Fusion, more miles per gallon for less than 18 grand, or just $219 a month, only at your local Ford store.
This is the Crave case I brought to Dave's New Year's Eve party. At midnight, like 4 different girls kissed me on the lips. I keep my socks and my tie in it now. My music collection, I tape them off the radio. More? Light bulbs.
Get your own 30-burger Crave case, just $13.99.
Wood.
If you're looking to ramp up your ride, get ready. Advance Auto Parts has a brand new special order center just for you. Your one-of-a-kind, one-stop shop for everything you could ever want in parts and performance accessories. Everything from lift kits to cool custom accessories is ready for direct-to-your-door delivery or convenient in-store pickup. When you want the most complete selection of parts and accessories, the only place to go is the new special order center in Advance Auto Parts.
We're ready in advance.
Hey, looking to create a unique experience when coming to a Reds game at Great American Ballpark? Well, build your very own lovable gapper in the Build-A-Bear Workshop. Take home a special memento by laser engraving a personal message on a full-length or miniature baseball bat. If you're just looking to get the latest on great Reds merchandise, then stop by the Team Shop by Majestic or Majestic Dugout Shop this season. For more info on store hours and presentations and the promotions that are set for this year, log on to Reds.com. Wainwright back to work. And here's Quentin McCracken, who's pinch hitting. New changes this year. If you haven't had a chance to watch the Reds very often this year, Quentin wearing Ken Griffey Jr.'s old number 30, and Jr. wearing a new number 3 in honor of his 3 children. McCracken reactivated this week. His career in 11 years of mostly bench play, a .278 hitter. So McCracken leads it off. He's hitting in the 8th spot of the order. Hit pretty good to center field. Going back, warning track, Schumacher to the wall, and that's gone. How about the Q-man? Quentin McCracken delivers off the bench, and that's what the Reds had hoped to get from him. A little speed and a little pop. There's your pop, Chris.
How about that? It was a little quick swing by Quentin McCracken. I mean, he's a solidly built man, no question about it. He goes right out the front door here over the 400 mark.
Here's home run number 1 of the season for McCracken. Schumacher just ran out of room, and it hit the grass berm out in center field, and the Reds have cut this to a 1-1 ball game. Out comes La Russa. That'll be it for Wainwright, as Javier Valentin been called on to pinch hit in the 9th spot in the order. So while the pitching change takes place, we'll take time out for these messages. It's time for our Skyline Chili call to the bullpen.
The all-new Chevy HHR gets an EPA estimated 30 highway miles per gallon. But did you know it comes with a standard iPod input jack and up to 55 cubic feet of cargo room for all your gear? Now, get a 2006 Chevy HHR LS starting at $15,890. Chevy, America's #1 brand, America's #1 value. See your participating Tri-State Chevy dealer or visit trychevy.com.
With delicious JTM Steakhouse burgers.
Now get $500 cash back on a new 06 Corolla or $1,000 back on a new 06 Highlander or Sienna through May 1st. Toyota, moving forward.
Dart's most skilled players aim for the title of the greatest in the world.
Sweet, sweet dog!
See
who's master of the board. World Championships of Darts, tomorrow on FSN.
You're watching Reds Baseball on FSN Ohio.
Cincinnati Reds baseball on FSN being brought to you by Quikrete Cement and Concrete Products. Quikrete, king of the concrete jungle. And by Hyundai, take the Hyundai Challenge. Visit thehyundaichallenge.com.
Well, some changes on both sides of the ball game right now. They wanted to bring in Javier Valentin. Javier, of course, a switch hitter, and he's much better from the left side than he is from the right. Tony La Russa counters that move by Jerry Narron by bringing in the left-handed Randy Flores. Flores in for the 6th time. One of 2 left-handers in the bullpen. We saw Ricardo Rincon yesterday. Did not throw the ball well at all. So Flores at this point looks like he's the go-to lefty in this situation.
So still left in the bullpen for La Russa. Rincon, the other lefty, and of course the 2 guys at the tail end of the ball game. Number 1, the closer, Jason Isringhausen, who's right-handed, and Braden Looper. Here's Valentin. They switch him around. He'll bat from the right side. 5 runs, 11 hits for the Reds now. 6 runs, 8 hits for the Cardinals. Reds have left 9 on base on this day and trail it by 1, 6-5. There's a strike. 1-1. Randy Flores, the left-hander, 6 foot, now 30 years of age. There's a shot down to Roland. He smothers it over to Pujols. 1 away. He does it with the bat, and boy, does he do it with the glove too. Gold Glove defense down at 3rd, and Scott Rowland. And here's Friel. After playing deep for Valentin with 1 out, Rowland comes to the edge of the grass with Ryan Friel, good bunter, and Friel's eyes peer at the first baseman Pujols on the edge of the grass and the 3rd baseman too. They're well aware of his bunting capabilities in a 1-run ball game. Ball and a strike. Double strikeout, ground out for Friel on this day. The Reds have used McCracken, Valentin, Womack, Griffey, and Hatteberg, still available off the bench, 2 left-handed swingers. 2-2. Completed in the National League. San Diego beat Atlanta 4-3. Washington beat Florida 7-5. And the Mets rallied to beat Milwaukee 9-3. Marlins come to Cincinnati tomorrow. Hope you join us for that one. We'll be on the air with Real Reds at 6:30. The game will follow. Brandon Clausen against Brian Moeller in game 1 of the series. And the Reds go to Milwaukee after the Florida series. There's a walk. There goes Friel, and now with a lefty on the mound, the stolen base becomes a critical part of the Reds game plan right here. Time for our Honda.com standings. Start of play today. Cincinnati 7-4, and the Cardinals 6-5, and a game back in those standings.
Hey, you wonder now with the left-handed Flores out there, and this is the 3rd time Ryan Friel has reached, 2nd time in 2 innings or in 3 innings on a base on balls, whether he will be off and running.
Last time with 2 outs, Friel walked against the right-hander, and then Lopez struck out to end the Reds' rally. The switch hitter Felipe Lopez, this year 1 homer left-handed and 2 right-handed. Right here, contact the key, keep the Reds rally alive with 1 out. Double play depth, middle of the infield for St. Louis. Slap the other way, and it's 1-2. running game, Chris, you could say it's important. This is where it is important. You know, in the Reds' heyday when Joe Morgan was on, this is when a base meant something. 7, 8, and 9 when you're in a one-run ball game, and this is where the running game really is critical.
And that's the first time he finally gets a big enough move over there to have Randy Flores throw over. First couple of pitches that Flores went to the plate, Friel was going back to first. Hadn't really figured out his move yet. I still don't think he's seen his good move. But you're right.
There he goes, gets a pretty good break. There's a liner into right. Look out. And it's bobbled. It's bobbled. All runners will be safe on the error by Encarnacion. They had a tailor-made double play, and I think that's what fouled up Encarnacion. He's looking at the runner, took his eye off the ball, and the Reds get a great break. What could have been a line drive double play out that ended the inning. Now it's 1 out, and the Reds have first and third.
He's made a couple of mental errors in this series so far. Juan Encarnacion has, and this is yeah, he's going to get charged with an error, a physical error on this, but he made a mental error the other day when he put his head down, and Brian Friel took second base on him by kind of coming in and lackadaisically playing a base hit. That time he took his eye off the ball and was unable to catch a ball that was hit just about right at him. And because of that, Tony La Russa is going to come out now and make a move, and the Reds are in business.
So there'll be a double switch made by La Russa. They'll go to the bullpen while the pitching change takes place. The Reds have gotten a gift, and they cash in on it. We'll find out. Let's pause for these messages. You're watching Reds baseball on FSN Ohio.
You've been practicing for this your entire life. The Chrysler Town & Country with Stow & Go seating and storage.
Now qualified returning lessees can lease a Chrysler Town & Country Touring for just $239 a month or get generous cash allowances.
The Ohio Lottery has a great new instant game where 20 people will win $1 million each.
Not one person.
Not 2 people, but 20 people. The game is the new $200 million
Cash Spectacular. There are over $218 million in cash prizes.
and over 8.5 million winning tickets.
Plus, it's the lottery's highest $10 ticket payout ever.
Play the $200 million Cash Spectacular.
Face it, you could be next.
Odds are, you'll have fun.
Improved on-road handling is what separates the 2006 Jeep Grand Cherokee Laredo from the rest of the pack. But its Quadra-Trac 1 4-wheel drive system is what leaves them in the dust. It's equipped with a standard 3.7-liter fuel-efficient V6, CD player, power locks, windows, and seats. Now, qualified lessees can lease a Grand Cherokee Laredo for just $259 a month or get generous cash allowances. The 2006 Jeep Grand Cherokee, the off-road legend, continues on-road. See your Chrysler and Jeep dealer today.
One of the two guys that Tony La Russa has down in the Cardinal bullpen that can possibly come in and be a closer. Of course, you got Jason Isringhausen and now Braden Looper. Signed to a 3-year deal in the offseason, in for the 5th time, and he's going to come in and face the middle of this Reds lineup. Remember that on the bench, the Reds have some left-handers available if they want to go to them. They've got Ken Griffey Jr. and Scott Hatteberg in weight.
Luna comes in to play second, so Tony La Russa's made his move. Now let's see what the Reds do as we go to the 3rd spot in the order. The error, will it be a factor in this game? Rich Aurelio will try to cash in here. What could have been an inning-ending line drive double play out has given the Reds a second life in a 1-run ball game. Hey, shop McCluskey Chevrolet, the one price, best price, and best overall shopping experience for new Chevy cars and trucks in Cincinnati. At McCluskey Chevrolet, it's easy or it's free. Looper against Rich Aurelia. Aurelia today. A single, a double, a bounce out, and a ground out. 2 for 4. Strike 1 against Looper. 4 for 12 and a strikeout. Looper was the closer in New York. Brought here to be a setup guy for Jason Isringhausen. Braden, 1 save shy of his career high with 28 in 2005. He's gotten over 100 saves in his career. They'll bluff to third and nobody moving down at first. And just by watching him the first couple of games of the series, he mechanically isn't straight yet, Chris. He doesn't look like he's comfortable out on the mound, but when they get him straight, he could be a real factor at the end of a ball game.
This guy throws as hard as anybody in the league when he's right. That last pitch, just 93. Still, that's the quickest pitch we've seen on the day from any pitcher out there.
He's an insurance policy on the closer's side. Isringhausen also has struggled early, but you figure he'll get it right. So if Looper and Isringhausen both are right, the tail end of this bullpen is tough. Really trying to do some business here with Dunn on deck. That's foul back, and it's a ball and 2 strikes. Rich Aurelius has given the Reds some of their best at bats in the first 2 weeks of this season. Had some tough at bats and strung out 8, 9, 10, 11 pitches. He and Ryan Friel have been great at it so far. Dunn is on deck. He's had some success against Looper in years past. Hit him for a big homer at Cincinnati and another big one in New York. That misses, and it's 2-2. One-run ball game, 6-5 Cardinals. Reds trying to rally here in the 8th inning. They've got a run in already on a McCracken pinch hit homer. This one hit to right, hit pretty good. Encarnacion on his horse. He won't get there. 1 run will score. Here comes Lopez around third. They're going to score him. The throw won't be made, and Rich Aurelius comes up with another big at bat. He led the Reds hitting it with runners in scoring position last year, and boy does he dial this one up. And the Cardinal bullpen has been torched by the Reds here in the 8th inning. They lead it 7-6.
Well, does that error come back to haunt? Yes, absolutely it does. A sure double play if Encarnacion's able to catch it. He wasn't able to catch that ball that was driven over his head in right center field. Aurelia had a couple of pretty good swings at Braden Looper in this at bat. He fouled him back, high fastballs. Looper just tried to throw it by him, but he brought it down just a hair. And when you get it right down there around level high, or letter high that is, Rich Aurelius was able to put the sweet part of the bat on it and drive in a couple of big runs.
Great at bat after the door was opened on the error by Encarnacion, and the Reds lead it 7-6. Cincinnati's now out hit the Cardinals 12-8, and the Cardinal tail end of the bullpen struggles continue on this day. They'll walk Dunn intentionally with Kearns due up next. There's no one tossing in the bullpen right now. Well, it's been a back-to-back kind of day here at St. Louis. For the Cardinals, Pujols and Rolen have gone back-to-back, and for the Reds, Dunn and Kearns have gone back-to-back with homers, Chris, and here comes Austin.
Well, Austin Kearns has had a very good swing at a ball against Mark Mulder. That was in the inning in which the Reds were able to really center the ball off of Mulder a couple of times, the 3rd time through the order. But he is swinging the bat very well as Austin Kearns. Pretty predictable move right there by putting Adam Dunn on first base.
Dunn 2 for 6 and 2 homers against Looper. Here's Kearns, who's 1 for 3 against Looper. It's a righty-righty matchup. Most home runs under 27 years of age among active players. Pujols and Dunn right at the top of that list, and some pretty good names on it. Mark Teixeira, Hank Blaylock, and Miguel Cabrera. We get to see Cabrera. There's a shot down the right field line, but foul. Cabrera will come in. He's one of the recognizable names that you'll see when the Florida Marlins come to town tomorrow in Cincinnati. Albert, nobody more recognizable than number 5 of the Cardinals today, last year's MVP in the National League. Dunn, more homers than anybody at Great American Ballpark. He'll try to add to that tomorrow. That's a strike. No balls, 2 strikes. Reds have a lead. They'd like to expand upon it with only 1 out here. He waves at it. Kearns is retired. Second out of the inning, and here comes Encarnacion.
Pretty good sequence of pitches that time for the Cardinal hurler. Threw a couple of fastballs down and away, and then he kind of let that one go. That had some hair on it, as it almost looked like it ran into Austin Kearns and really fooled him. Had not seen a pitch from Looper do that in the 2 previous pitches.
Edwin today 1 for 3, single and a walk. His base hit came in the 5th inning. High in the air to center. That should do it. It does. This one caught, but the one that wasn't opened the door for the Reds. An error by Encarnacion. Aurelia doubles, and the Reds have a 7-6 lead.
Good morning. Your 2006 Nissan Murano is redesigned. A technological marvel. Equipped with all-wheel drive and fuel-efficient CVT transmission. A rear camera to help get in and out of tight spots. A powerful V6 engine and loads of secret compartments. We have detected a low lease of $289 a month. Offer ends May 1st.
This week on the Best Damn Sports Show, period. Hockey star Jeremy Roenick. What went wrong in L.A.? And who's the Stanley Cup favorite? This week at 10.
It's one of the world's premier leagues, and the EPL Fan Zone gives aficionados their chance to put their mark on the game. A weekly matchup, 2 favorite teams, 2 fans face off and call it as it is. One celebrates. The other goes down with their losing team.
Goodbye, good night.
Every Thursday, get into the EPL Fan Zone, only on FSC.
Before the first pitch, warm up with Real Reds, only on FSN Ohio. Get in-depth interviews that will take you beyond the box score, and you'll learn the keys to the game. 30 minutes before every game, watch Real Reds, only on FSN Ohio. Presented by Safe Auto.
You can always spot Safe Auto Insurance customers. They love minimum coverage. 1-800-SAFE-AUTO. Minimum coverage for minimum budgets.
You're watching Reds Baseball on FSN Ohio.
This Easter Sunday, our Chrysler game summary. The Reds have out-hit the Cardinals 12-8, now finally lead it 7-6. Pujols 2 for 3, couple of homers, 27 in his career against Cincinnati. Dunn and Kearns went back-to-back in the 5th inning. Add it all up, McCracken a pinch hit home run off the bench, and a big hit by Aurelia. And now the Reds have a 7-6 lead in a game that's turned over to the bullpen. Here's the latest out of the pen. It's Todd Coffey for the Reds.
You got to figure that Todd Coffey grew up a couple of years in one night. That was on Friday night in the Aaron Harang 1-0 win over this Cardinal team. And when he came in the 8th inning, bases loaded, and ended up striking out Juan Encarnacion, gave up a single to Pujols, but struck out Jim Edmonds with the bases loaded on a 3-2 changeup. And he's come a long way. The first pitch that he threw in that ball game, 96 miles an hour. So this might be the guy that Jerry Naren's looking for to step it up and become that full-time closer.
Here's Encarnacion, who already has been a culprit on the good side for the Reds, the bad side for the Cardinals. He came in a double switch, committed the error in right that opened the door to the Reds. He'll lead it off here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Now it's interesting, before the game today, and here's another look at the error by Encarnacion. Hit hard, yes, but it's a ball that should be caught. And you know, you can't make excuses, Chris, but you got to believe he's looking to see where Friel is at that point. Took his eye off it, and Friel easily would have been doubled off because Friel was right at the second base bag. There's a shot towards the hole, backhanded, long throw, and he is not in time. Aurelia thought he had him. What a play that would have been by Lopez.
Boy, a marvelous effort by the Reds shortstop, Felipe Lopez. I mean, he gets it, turns, throws in one motion, and Encarnacion is safe, but only by a hair. What a great effort.
Yeah, replay shows he got the foot in there, but boy, what an effort by Lopez. I didn't think he had a chance to get it.
You know, of all the ones that you see that you say you should put in your pocket, you think that would be it. He made it as close as it could get.
So Encarnacion's on, the leadoff hitter on here in the 8th. Here comes Luna, who came in the double switch last inning. Encarnacion, pretty good speed, not a great base stealer. The Reds not taking any chances, pitch out. Luna yesterday was the hitting star for the Cardinals. He had 3 runs batted in. Had a big day. Valentin behind the plate. Coffey on the mound. Encarnacion at third. Lopez. There's a big swing and a strike.
You know, George, we've talked about radar guns in different ballparks, about how some of them seem to be juiced up. In this ballpark, Mark Mulder's best fastball was 84 miles an hour today. This one's not tuned down. It is pretty much right on it. First pitch by Todd Coffey, 96. So he's consistently right in the mid-90s, throwing the ball very hard.
Short lead for Encarnacion. They'll toss over there. McCracken has stayed in the game. He's out and left. So it's McCracken, Friel in center, and Kearns in right.
You know, the other thing that may have had an effect on that ball that was hit to Encarnacion was the sun. Right field here is the sun field, and it's a very bright sun in the sky. I wonder with the way the shadows are going, whether he may have just lost that temporarily as he went after it.
In any event, went as an error, and the Reds had the door open. 1 ball, 1 strike. Coffey to the stretch. Luna at the plate. He wanted the call, so did Valentin. Joe Brinkman doesn't give it to him, and it's 2-1. Luna looks at Oquendo, who rolls through some signs down in the third base coach's box. Dave McKay, with his hand on Encarnacion's shoulder, reconfirms him down at first. He's going. Here comes a throw. They got a shot at him, and he's a dead duck. Well, the Reds sniffed it out, make the play. The runner retired, and the base runner erased. And there's your first out.
Really great job by Javier Valentin, because this ball is not an easy one to be able to catch and throw. It's a hit and run all the way. You can see by the swing of Hector Luna and the look back there by Juan Encarnacion. He'll got to get a feeling about halfway down, and he's a dead duck, and he'll go back to the dugout. Good job by the Reds receiver.
You can't make a better play than Valentin made right there. He gives his pitcher a big lift. Well, the base runner race, and now we're full 3-2. That's a looper over the leaping effort of Phillips into right, a base hit. And boy, does that make a difference. I mean, if he steals the base, or if it's a hit and run and that's the hit, there's first and third, nobody out. Or at the very worst, if he had been on second, that would have been the tying run.
He got up there a little bit, Brandon Phillips did, just not high enough to get that ball just over his glove. That's where those little gloves that those infielders wear work against you.
Couldn't get much higher than he did on that leap. So now Luna's on. Let's see what they do with Molina at the plate. Molina, a real good hit and run guy. You wouldn't be surprised to see La Russa try it again. He's already had 3 hit and runs today. Molina today singled back in the 4th inning. 1 for 3. Luna, pretty good lead down at first.
You know, interesting the way that Todd Coffey checks the runner over at first base. When he's in a stretch position, most guys will look over their left shoulder. He looks over his right shoulder, over towards second base.
Takes a page from Scott Sullivan's book.
Sully used to do that.
Runner not going, down and away. Molina looks at Oquendo for the sign. Luna down at first. in a 1-run ball game here in the bottom of the 8th. Reds scored 3 to take a 7-6 lead in the top of the inning.
You know, the idea of a throw over like that by any pitcher, but mostly right-handers, is not to pick them off. Just try to shorten the lead up a little bit. The odds of actually picking a runner off very minimal, especially when compared to throwing it down the right field line for an error. But you want to shorten up the lead if possible.
He's going. Fouled off. I mean, yesterday was the exception in a 9-3 ball game, but game 1 of this series and today has been a chess match for these two managers, both in terms of plays called, hit and runs, runs and hits, steals, and also the defensive side of it, pitch outs, and how you're going to control the running game. Both Narin and La Russa have been dealing with each other's dugout all day long. 1 ball, 1 strike. You send the runner again. Not going. This one hit hard, but foul. And the other part of the equation, Chris, if you get your pitcher, and this is what La Russa tries to do, that's the other part of the chess match. If you get your pitcher to hurry up on the mound with a runner on, maybe you leave one up, and bingo, there goes a shot down the line like Molina right there. When Coffey's at his best, he's down around the knees. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Not going. Down to third, but foul. Talking to Todd Coffey after the game the other night, he said he threw 2 changeups when he came in, and that's something that he never threw until he sat down and talked to Mario Soto. It's not a pitch that he's going to use a lot of, but all you need to do is show it a couple of times.
Well, it certainly helps to have it in your arsenal. Most relievers, especially short relievers, are going to go with their basic 2 pitches. But he's got a little bit of a slider. He used to throw a forkball until his arm began to bark a little bit from it, so he's kind of waned off that and begun to throw more of a changeup, and it's become a very good pitch for him.
Here's the 1-2. Runner not going, and that's pop foul. Good at bat by Molina, hanging in there.
In fact, those are back-to-back changeups right there to Molina.
Hard to tell. He said, and Valentin said, they talked about it the other night. One pitch, as we looked at it, looked like a changeup. He said, no, I just threw like a batting BP fastball, about 84, 85 miles an hour, just trying to locate it more than anything else. The one thing, and you know, when you start to throw a changeup, the most difficult thing with it is trying to locate it.
You give good enough arm action, sometimes location is not the most important thing. Selling it as a fastball is.
1 ball, 2 strikes. There goes the runner. There's another foul ball down the third base line. I mean, that's Greg Maddox's philosophy. He believes much more that selling that as a fastball, as a changeup, is more important than location. And of course, he's got the trifecta. He can also locate it.
He's got 5 of them.
Yeah. 1 and 2. And that's foul the other way. A long at bat by Molina. And right now there is no one else tossing in the Reds bullpen.
Now this is where a pitcher really has to stay mentally stubborn. You know, as Molina continues to foul off some pretty good pitches from Todd Coffey, he can't get frustrated out there and get to the point where I'm just going to challenge him with a fastball down the middle and see what he does with it. Got to continue to pitch his game. He's still ahead in the count, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Continue to try to expand the strike zone a little bit.
A little bigger lead down at first. There goes the runner. There goes a shot. It's a fair ball. This is a tricky corner. McCracken's coming up. They'll hold the runner. It's going to be second and third. So Molina does it again. He comes up with a big hit against the Reds. And now it's second and third, 1 out here in the bottom of the 8th inning.
Yeah, it looked like he got a slider out over the plate a little bit from Todd Coffey. Hard to tell exactly what pitch that was from that replay, but either way, Yadi Molina put the good part of the bat on it and drives it right down the left field line. Now the good news for the Reds is that they're at the bottom of the Cardinal order, with Shoemaker and Taguchi due up, and not looking at Albert Pujols and Scott Rowland for another 4 batters.
Kent Merker's just now gotten up and starting to loosen. Taguchi due up next after Schumacher, and still available on the bench, Edmonds and Bennett. Too much of the plate with this pitch, huh?
I got to think just the way that Molina went after that pitch. That was a slider that really didn't slide.
So that'll force the Reds to bring the infield in with 1 out. And they will walk Schumacher intentionally to set up a force and a possible double play. And that'll put the bat in the hands of Taguchi. Remember, Edmonds available off the bench, and Bennett the backup catcher. That's all that's left of the regulars. The other guy who's been used as a pinch hitter and has come through already twice this year. He had a sacrifice bunt the other day. Is one of the best hitting pitchers in all of baseball. That's Jason Marquis. Okay, here comes Taguchi. Bases loaded, 1 out.
Taguchi's got to feel pretty confident coming up to the plate in this situation. He's faced Todd Coffey 3 times and he's nailed him for 2 hits.
And of all the things that happened yesterday, the strangest was Taguchi trying 3 times to lay down a sacrifice bunt and not being able to do it. He is probably the best bunter on this Cardinal team. Didn't do it, and his frustration was evident this morning in talking with him. So he's got something to prove. Here are the bases loaded, 1 out. Coffey trying to get something done here. That's up high for a ball. No place to put him.
This is one of those situations where a ground ball double play gets you out of the inning unscathed. And in order to get one, you've got to keep it down around the knees. And if Taguchi's going to launch one into the outfield, make him go down and get it.
Corners in tight, middle of the infield, double play depth. Taguchi bangs it foul down the left field line. 1 ball, 1 strike. There's nobody on this Cardinal roster who's better with the bases loaded. Taguchi .476 in his career with the bases loaded. He's 10 for 21. Well, Coffey trying to find some magic in his back pocket as Jerry Narron looks on. One ball, 1 strike. Hopped up right side. Kern's got a long run. Can he get there? He does. The runner tags, but is going nowhere. Boy, Kern's had to come a long, long way. Got there. There's your 2nd out. And now it's Eckstein standing between the end of the inning.
I'm just happy that there was some communication going on out there between Austin Kearns and Brandon Phillips.
This inning started with an infield hit. Then a single and a double. And now they're trying to get out of it with the bases loaded and Eckstein at the plate. What a day he's had. Been on base 3 times, 2 hits and a walk. This one hit high in the air to left. It should be caught. McCracken there. He's got it. And what an effort by Coffey. Boy, did he battle back after big time trouble. Reds still lead by 1. We're going to the 9th.
Chrysler 300C. Hemi V8 power. MDS fuel efficiency. And a 5-star crash test rating. The one-of-a-kind Chrysler 300C. When you're hot, you're hot. Chrysler. inspiration comes standard.
Now, qualified lessees can lease a 300 base model for just $319 a month or receive generous cash allowances.
Get more out of your meals with delicious JTM boneless barbecue ribs.
Virtually inaccessible, the remote Northern Territory is a fortress of alpine peaks. The terrain so brutal, its beauty has seldom been seen by human eyes. Only the most adventuresome have ever set foot in this desolate yet picturesque landscape.
This is much better than the movie.
The all-new 7-passenger Jeep Commander. It's your world. Take command. Now, qualified lessees can lease a Jeep Commander 4x4 base model for just $259 a month or get generous cash allowances.
Great to have you with us. George Grant, Chris Welch here on FSN. We go to the 9th inning, top of 9. Looper's still in there. Here are the numbers on this one. 7 runs, 12 hits, and an error for the Reds. 6 runs, 11 hits, 2 errors for the Cardinals. The Reds have left 10 on base on this day. And the Cardinals, after leaving the bases full, now have left 7 as we go to the top of the 9th inning. Todd Coffey, boy, you grow up after an inning like that, don't you?
No, you're not kidding about that. He grew up a little bit the other night, George, when he came in a very tough bases-loaded situation and ended up doing the same thing today. Battled very tough in that inning and finally got out of the jam.
Reds back to work with a 1-run lead, 7-6. They'd love to do a little extra business right here as Brandon Phillips will lead it off. Todd Coffey battled back in a tough bottom of the 8th, and oh yeah, by the way, the big guys due up again as we go to the 9th inning. The pitcher spot, Looper's spot, then Pujols and Roland due up. Brandon 0 for 4 today, flat out his last time up, a couple of tappers back to the mound, and he faces Looper. Down to third, that's a fair ball. In the dirt, but scooped by Pujols. 1 away, top of 9 on the 5-3 putout. And here comes McCracken. Quinton gave the Reds some juice, pinch hitting the lead off the 8th inning with a base hit. A big base hit. A home run to straightaway center field. That got the Reds within 1. And a big double by Aurelia got the Reds ahead as he knocked in 2. Quinton can bunt. He tries to bunt it, but can't get it past the pitcher. If he gets it past Looper, he's got a base hit. It hung up there. Looper's got it, and quickly there's 2 outs. Here comes Valentine, hitting in the 9th spot in the order. Reds trying to take a series in St. Louis. They haven't done that many times in recent years. Coming into this series, they had lost 15 of their last 18 games here. They won game 1, 1-0. Lost yesterday as they fell behind early, and now have a chance to win here. Albert's got it. He'll take it himself. And we're going to the bottom of 9. David Weathers is up and loosening in the bullpen. Reds need 3 outs. They have a 7-6 lead.
With its bold looks, Dodge Dakota catches your eye, but what's underneath keeps them glued, like a fuel-efficient V6, CD player, and multi-stage airbags. Look closer and you'll also see Dakota's got available best-in-class towing, torque, and interior room. Plus 5-star, the government's highest frontal crash test rating. Dodge Dakota. It leaves the competition in the dust. Now qualified returning lessees can lease a Dakota ST Club Cab for only $149 a month or get generous cash allowances.
Experience Ambien CR for yourself. Talk to your doctor to see if Ambien CR is right for you. Then call for your 7-day free trial offer. Ambien CR has a controlled release formula and is the only sleep aid with 2 layers. The first dissolves quickly to help you get to sleep fast. The second dissolves slowly to help you stay asleep. So you can wake up and get ready for your day. Ambien CR is a treatment option you and your doctor can consider, along with lifestyle changes, and can be taken for as long as your doctor recommends. Side effects may include next-day drowsiness, dizziness, and headache. Don't take it with alcohol. Ambien CR is a non-narcotic. Most sleep medicines have some risk of dependency. Until you know how Ambien CR will affect you, you shouldn't drive or operate machinery. Be sure you're able to devote 7 to 8 hours to sleep before being active again. Call today for your 7-day free trial offer of Ambien CR. Tomorrow will thank you.
Don't forget, coming up right after this one, JD, Jim Day standing by for our Easter edition of Gold Star Chili Reds Wrap. They'll wrap this ball game up right here on FSN. It's Gold Star Chili Reds Wrap after today's game and every game right here on FSN. Todd Coffey, Chris, in this series on Friday night. He had a tough road to get through, did it, and did it again today.
Came in throwing hard, got Jim Edmonds on a changeup of all pitches, and he came in and got out of a tough jam today, retiring 2 batters on fly balls with the bases loaded to end the 8th inning. And it'll now be David Weathers to start the 9th inning, protecting a 1-run lead. Weathers has already picked up 3 saves. He's had only 3 opportunities, and he's done everything the Reds have asked of him to do in this closer by committee bullpen that Jerry Narron has put together. It's not going to be very easy for Weathers in this inning, however, because some of the batters that he will face have seen him before, and they've got pretty good track records against the Reds right-hander.
Looper 1 2/3 innings and 1 hit, no runs earned, although 3 runs were scored. Here's Jason Marquis, who will pinch hit for Looper. And we told you about Marquis, 167, yes, but an outstanding hitter. You see his career numbers against the Reds. He's used quite frequently by La Russa as a pinch hitter, not just the hit, but the bunt too. He had a sacrifice bunt the other night against Milwaukee. 2 career home runs for Jason Marquis. Pujols is on deck. There's a bouncer, and that's into center field. And you talk about Mike Hampton being a great hitting pitcher. Marquis is out of that same mold, and here comes Sir Albert, who's had a great day already. Earlier today, the Reds had Dunn and Kearns back-to-back. In the top of the 5th, in the bottom of the 5th, Pujols and Rowland went back-to-back. First of 2 homers by Albert. And not only that, he's got a tremendous record against David Weathers. He comes to the plate 5 for 10 against Weathers in their matchup.
Yeah, you saw the location of those home run pitches. It would be wise for David Weathers to stay out of that spot.
Yes, missing for ball 1. He thought it was a strike. Weathers asking Brinkman, where is it? There's a strike. David last year, career high 15 saves for the Reds. And this year, in a year where they're going on paper with a closer by committee, he's been the designated closer since the start of the season. That's slap foul. 1 ball, 2 strikes. When you don't have a put away pitch like a 97 or 98 mile-an-hour fastball or a Mariano Rivera cutter, Chris, location is so critical.
You better believe it, especially against this guy. And of course, David Weathers has always been a ground ball pitcher. Love to get one here.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Reds double play. Depth, middle of the infield. No one out. Runner at first. Marquis. If it's fair, it's gone. It's curving. It is gone. he did it again. It's a walk-off homer for Albert Pujols, his 3rd homer of the day, his 28th career homer against Cincinnati, and there's an exclamation point by last year's MVP.
Sure, the Nissan Altima is attractive, but we just turned up the heat. Introducing the 2006 Nissan Altima with a special edition package. 14 of our most popular options. Now, lease the Nissan Altima with the special edition package for $199 per month. $199 per month. Did it just get hot in here?
The Ohio Lottery has a great new instant game.
Where 20 people
will win $1 million each.
Not one person.
Not 2 people, but 20 people. The game is the new $200 million
Cash Spectacular. There are over $218 million in cash prizes.
And over 8.5 million winning tickets.
Plus, it's the lottery's highest $10 ticket payout ever.
Play the $200 million Cash Spectacular.
Face it, you could be next.
Odds are, you'll have fun.
Champagne, gentlemen.
Don't worry, I got us covered.
What is that?
It's a Coors Light cooler box. 18 plastic bottles and a ready-made cooler. All we need is ice. Genius.
The Go Anywhere Coors Light cooler box. Just add ice and enjoy.
To the bride!
Coors Light. Taste the cold.
When we got married, suddenly we had 2 of everything.
They had a lot of stuff.
2 dinette sets, 2 dogs.
2 car insurance companies.
I'm State Farm agent Joan Roysum, and this is a true story.
We had to get rid of a few things.
Yeah, mainly my things.
He had State Farm.
She had a gecko.
I helped them compare rates and coverage.
It was no comparison.
He was right. For once.
This time, one of my things stayed.
Last year, 1.3 million drivers switched to State Farm. Call an agent today and you'll switch too.
Like a good neighbor.
State Farm is there.
Career high tying 5 runs batted in for Albert Pujols, his 6th walk-off homer of his career, and Chris, that's why he's the MVP.
Guy can flat out hit. Statistics don't lie. He was 5 for 10 against David Weathers coming into this ball game. Make it 6 for 11 with a game-winning homer right there. The Reds go home with an even 3-3 road trip.
Looper the winner, Weathers the loser. 3 hours and 4 minutes, 40,068 in the ballpark. Gold Star Chili Reds wrap next with Jim Day. See you at the ballpark, everybody.
Alamo Electronics, providing the best in cutting-edge home entertainment. Alamo showcases the brands you know, offering high-definition and digital television, flat screen, plasma, LCD, big screen, and projection TVs. Let Alamo show you contemporary custom installation ideas. Those who know and appreciate quality home entertainment electronics shop at Alamo. Not to pay more, but to get more. Alamo Electronics, 9572 Montgomery Road in Montgomery.
To sponsor the U.S. Adult Rec Pond Hockey Championship. Labatt Blue Light, imported daily from Canada.
Take the victory
challenge and see why we're the fastest growing motorcycle brand in North America. Test ride a victory, take home a limited edition t-shirt. With over 300 dealers nationwide, taking a test ride has never been easier. Dare to compare. Victory, the new American motorcycle.
Busy families are always looking for a little help. One that helps make it safer for your kids, is great at keeping things organized, and is a versatile multitasker. But if all that's not enough, check out our stellar references, like a Consumer Guide Best Buy Award, Dodge Grand Caravan. A little help goes a long way. Now qualified lessees can lease Grand Caravan SXT for $219 a month or get generous cash allowances.
What a game today from Busch Stadium in St. Louis. The grounds crew cleaning up first base where Albert Pujols, well, he kind of made a path around the base paths today. 3 home runs as the Cardinals rally for an 8-7 win. They take Game 3, the rubber game of this 3-game set. Thanks for staying with us on FSN Ohio. I'm Jim Day, your Gold Star Chili Reds wrap. There are some times in this game where you simply have to step back and tip your cap. Albert Pujols, if not the best player in the game right now, certainly in the conversation. And Albert Pujols almost single-handedly beat the Reds today, including the dramatic walk-off home run in the 9th. He had a career-high 5 RBI today. It's the 6th time in his career he's had a walk-off home run, and he started his day in the 5th with a home run right there, a 2-run shot. And then in the 7th inning, all of these to left field. That one just on a rope, a curtain call, the second one of the day, but it would be 3 curtain calls for Pujols today. He's your Gold Star Chili star of the game with the runner aboard, down by 1. That's what baseball's all about. A home run, a 2-run job. It's a walk-off home run, and the Cardinals take this game by a run, and they win the series 2-1. But despite that, the Reds will return home with a 3-3 road trip. And considering how this club got started off on the road last year, 3-3 against Chicago and St. Louis, they'll take that. It's the early part of this season. When we come back on Gold Star Chili Reds Wrap, it's a long list of highlights to take you through. It was a great game today. The highlights up next. Stay with us on FSN.
Come here, guys. Look at our field. We can't play here.
We can fix this.
This spring, kids have the power to revitalize their baseball field and make a real difference in their community. Now through April 30th, kids can nominate their field at BriggsDiamondsInTheRough.com. The grand prize is a $20,000 makeover and a baseball clinic hosted by Hall of Famers Lou Brock and Carlton Fisk. Briggs & Stratton, the power within.
Toyota measures success the same way you do, by getting better every day. Like Avalon, named an IntelliChoice Best Overall Value of the Year. Or Toyota Sienna, the first minivan to receive a double best pick from the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety. Now get a new 06 Sienna with $1,000 cash back, or lease one for $279 a month for 36 months with $23.99 due at signing. So keep doing what you do best. We will too. Toyota, moving forward.
Of course I'm excited, Mom. It's my first home. No, it wasn't stressful. My relationship manager at First Horizon was with me every step of the way. No, really. First Horizon made me feel special. That's why they call them relationship managers, Mom. They're committed to taking the stress out of the home mortgage process. No, Mom. Just because they call them relationship managers does not mean they can find me a husband.
Yeah, having a little car trouble. I'm State Farm agent Larry Bitterman, and this is a true story. I was there on vacation, so I called the local State Farm agent.
We're not really sure how the car got into the lake.
Yeah, the map was a disappointment. They called a local diver, and it turns out that's me too. I think he started my claim before it even dried off. We settled it the next day. Where would I have been without him?
Sunk.
Any insurance company can promise you a good price, but nobody takes care of you like State Farm. We'd love to prove it to you. Call an agent today.
Like a good neighbor.
State Farm is there.
Reds Wrap is brought to you by Gold Star Chili. After the game, nothing beats Gold Star Chili. The taste that's taking over. And by CarX. For professional auto repair, headlights to taillights, don't worry. See your CarX man. We're back on Gold Star Chili Reds Wrap. Jim Day with you. A very eventful day here at Busch Stadium. It was an eventful series, actually, and the Reds were looking for their bats to wake up today. They did wake up today. Unfortunately, the Cardinals bats were alive as well. Let's take you through the highlights. It was Bronson Arroyo bidding for a perfect 3-0 start for Cincinnati. He would not get it, though. Despite the early lead for Cincinnati. Top of the first, Austin Kearns continues his hot swinging. Singles in Ryan Friel, 1-0 Cincinnati. Bottom half of the inning, though, John Rodriguez. Arroyo gave up a hit and a walk, and both of those guys scored on this Rodriguez hit. 2-1, St. Louis had the lead, but here come the Redlegs. Top of the fifth, Adam Dunn. Home run number 7. Lopez was aboard a 2-run shot. The Reds had a 1-run lead. Next batter, A.K. Austin Kearns. Back-to-back jacks. 4th of the seasons for Kearns. Reds were in business 4-2. But here comes Albert Pujols. Bottom of the 5th. Bang. He was just hitting ropes to left field today. Souvenir ball. 4-4, the game is tied. Next batter, St. Louis says, I got your back-to-back, Jack, right here. Scott Rowland, back-to-back home runs for St. Louis. The Cardinals retook the lead at 5-4, and Albert says, yes, sir. Bottom of the 7th. It's Albert again. 2-run, or second home run of the game. Number 8 on the season, 6 for St. Louis. At the time, he got his second curtain call, and there it is, but he wasn't done. Give the Reds credit, though. Top of the 8th, Quentin McCracken. First home run in a Reds uniform. This one dead center field. Out of here. Reds were within 1, but they got a gift. Lopez would send a shot to right. Juan Encarnacion would come up with an error. It would send Ryan Friel to third base there. It was a sure double play at the time. And then Rich Aureli would follow up with a 2 RBI double. So Cincinnati had a 7-6 lead. They got out of a jam in the 8th, but in the 9th, a man on for Pujols against David Weathers. And our grand Victoria winning play is the 3rd home run of the game for Pujols. 6th time in his career he's had a walk-off home run. 8-7 Pujols with 3 home runs, almost single-handedly beats the Reds today. 7 runs, 12 hits for Cincinnati and 1 error. 8 runs, 13 hits, 2 errors for St. Louis. Looper with the win, Weathers with the loss out of the pen, and Pujols 3 for 4, 3 home runs, 5 RBI. That ties a career high. 3-3 road trip for the Reds. They are back to Cincinnati to face the Marlins. When we come back on Gold Star Chili Reds Wrap, we'll set you up for that 3-game series with the folks from Florida. Back with more after this.